Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Yes.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
This morning, Madison, Wisconsin is a city on edge. Police there shot and killed a 38-year-old father, and this morning his family is demanding that officer be charged. And we warn you, what you're about to see may be disturbing to watch. This morning, anger boiling over in the streets of Madison, Wisconsin, after 38-year-old Corey Ruiz was shot and killed by police at a busy intersection on the city's Near East Side. His mother breaking down at an emotional news conference.
He was my love. He loved his daughter. He loved his family. He did not deserve to be taken out like that. They took my baby from me.
Police say it started Wednesday afternoon with a call about a man allegedly checking the doors of parked cars. Officers spotted him, but police say he took off on a bike. They caught up with him roughly a half hour later. ABC News compiled the available video to break down what happened next. Here, Ruiz coming off that bike as 4 officers tried to arrest him. Police say he pulled a fixed blade knife. Officers try a stun gun. Police say it didn't work. The struggle continues, Ruiz ending up on the ground on his side, then 3 shots. He died at the hospital. Police say the officer who fired was injured by that knife. None of the officers were wearing body cameras. The department doesn't require its officers to use them. All 4 officers are now on administrative leave. The State Justice Department investigating this as a homicide. And this morning, the family, joined by attorney Ben Crump, is demanding charges.
I wish I could see him one more time. I wish he could tell me how much he loves me one more time.
And this morning, that memorial at the intersection is still growing. 2 blocks from his daughter's home and 2 blocks from the school she'll walk to this fall. Rhiannon?
Yeah, your heart just breaks for that family.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if my heart breaks. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Once again, y'all, we got another Black protest moment. I don't know what else to call this shit. It's another protest movement. And we all remember the George Floyd era, don't we? First off, let's do the obligatory like, share, subscribe. You got to do all these things, right? How many times do I have to tell you? You got to like the video, share the video, and or subscribe to the video, to the channel. And you could also, throw $1 in the hat while you're at it. Hit me up on Venmo at The Hoodservative, or you can buy me a coffee of any size if you click the link pinned in the chat. It'll take you over to buymeacoffee.com. I like coffee.
Give me the money. Give me the money, but I will do. Give me the money.
But yeah, we all remember the George Floyd era, don't we? And this new incident, although it's nothing like the almost clear-cut harmlessness, let's put it that way. George Floyd wasn't really presenting a physical violent threat to anybody in the way you could argue this gentleman was, at the very least, presenting a violent physical, a clear and present danger, right? Because that was the goddamn kitchen knife. That wasn't like no little flip out pocket knife. That wasn't the Carmelo Anthony knife. That nigga wasn't running around with a Carmelo. He had a full-on kitchen knife. That was the Jason from the Freddy Krueger. No, yeah, that was Jason, right? That was Jason the Friday 13th with the no. That was Michael Myers. That was Michael Myers with the butcher knife. He was running around with the Michael Myers, bro. Like, come on. What are you niggas doing? Like, I could understand if it was one of those, was it like if it was one of those questionable borderline things, but it's like, bro, you out here, first of all, anytime you start tussling, you start fighting with the police, you're on a dangerous path at that time anyway, right? Just the fact that you're out there having a physical confrontation with the cops, you're already like spiraling down through the cycle of violence, And not only are you having this physical confrontation with the cops, allegedly, a knife was produced, and at least one, if not multiple, police were injured by the knife. And then he was punctuated permanently. Now, I don't really know what the family could be going through. Obviously it's a moment of grief or whatever. But I mean, can we not just charge it to the game every now and then? Is that not a thing? I mean, do we not just get to charge a couple of these niggas to the game? Because I'm tired of this whole, they out here hunting us bullshit.
First, it was Nolan Wells. Now it's Corey Rellis. Every day, both black and brown people is getting shot at by these white supremacists. I'm not gonna call them cops. I'm not gonna call them ICE agents. I'm gonna call them white supremacists. White supremacists is killing us, both black and brown people here in America.
Boy, if this nigga not Forrest Gump, oh my God. Forrest Gump is worried, y'all. This is Negro Gump right here. Matter of fact, what was that friend that Forrest Gump had? This is Bubba Gump. This is Bubba. But like, come on, man. Come on, man. Let me run that back. Let's do a quick. Let's do a quick. I want to poll the audience real quick. Randomly, if you had to pick, I'm going to cap it at 100 just to be generous. You never know. You never know. But if you could pick a number between 1 and 100, what do you think his IQ is?
First, it was Nolan Wells. Now it's Corey Rellis. Every day, both black and brown people is getting shot at by these white supremacists. I'm not going to call them cops. I'm not going to call them ICE agents. I'm going to call them white supremacists. White supremacists is killing us, both black and brown people here in America. First,
they killing us here in America. Oh man. So obviously you got like the softer brained people, they are upset now. They are very angry about all the hunting and the shooting and the killings of just regular, innocent, good old black folk that have been happening here out in America.
There's already been so much negativity about him, and nobody even knows who he is. His criminal record tells a tale of trauma, of pain, of struggle. It does not define who my brother was.
He was a lifelong criminal. He was 38 years old. Nigga never did nothing but his life, but broke the law and probably made a baby or two. And he was, that is not the record of his life. Man, there are just like really heartbreaking realities that you gotta come face to face with. Like, and this is the truth. I'm not gonna just own it all by myself. I'm gonna say this is a truth in general. It's not even just relative to Black America. This is a family thing, right? Every now and then, you might find yourself born into a family where a couple of the members of your family are what old literature would refer to as a ne'er-do-well. You ever come across that term before? A ne'er-do-well? Ne'er-do-well, right? It's three words, three concepts making one short phrase, right? A ne'er-do-well, meaning they ne'er or never do well. They're always up to some fuck shit. And every now and then, you might happen to find yourself born into a family where one or two of your relatives, I had a lot more, but you might be luckier than me. One or two of your relatives might be what they call a ne'er-do-well. He was always up to no good. And what I think is kind of hard for a lot of people to do, especially when it comes to the funeral, because I've been in this moment. I've literally been in this moment where the funeral hits and people are really struggling to find positive, heartwarming stories that they could tell about this person. Like all he ever did was shoot dope and rob people. It's hard to tell good stories about him. Remember that time we got high and robbed that one spot? You know, like that's not the type of shit you can bring up at a funeral when you want to remember him for better things in life. But every now and then you get a relative like that, and it just is what it is, man.
And for him to be executed the way he was, based on, in conclusion, based on speculation, I don't understand. I need somebody to help me understand why they felt it was okay to execute my brother.
It wasn't.
No, it was not.
Based on no facts at all.
What facts were you? And you know what really kills me about these moments and the type of things people say, like the phrases that people use often, it's almost like there really is like a type of break from broadly shared reality. And now you're moving into some type of like frame of mind that your average person here on Earth 616, like, we just don't really know what you mean. Like, what facts were you looking for? He was fighting with the police. This is not a fact-finding mission, ma'am. I'm sorry, it wasn't. We were not here to find facts. We were here to arrest that nigga, and he didn't want to be arrested, and he fought hard. He died like a soldier, ma'am. I don't know what else to tell you, right? He came back home on his shield, goddammit. Hold on, not they be really trying to use words. Shout out to Miss Kid Trouble in the chat. She said they really be trying to use words. You said it like you were talking about babies playing with Legos and some shit. You ever see little kids play with Legos and they're just mashing them together? They haven't quite figured out the concepts of how to properly construct, an actual thing. And so they just mash them together and randomly stick stuff together that don't properly work. But, fuck it, it's mine. I think it's a gun. Like, this is an imagery that you give me when you type shit like that. Like, they'd really be trying to use words. Oh, they so cute. It's terrible, though. It's really terrible.
It wasn't.
No, it was not.
Based on no facts at all.
They dragged his young daughter up on stage too. Like, and here's the problem. Because, like, I can tell they got the whole move rehearsed. She ain't coming out there, oh, my baby. She's trying to hold it together. She's just a little bit angry. She's trying to touch just the right note of, like, righteous anger, you know what I mean? And then they got the little girl next to it. I know that's his kid. They're really, really trying to, like, hit all the black sympathy notes. But I think the problem is, because I just checked my cabinets, I am fresh out of black sympathy. And I think a lot of people are. Like, I was just at the grocery store yesterday, and they didn't have shit on the shelf. There is no more black sympathy to go around. I'm so sorry, baby.
Why is it the police's decision to decide that he gets to pay a alleged debt to society with his life? I hope everyone continues to support and come together and help us find justice for him.
Hey, you know what, American Man? Yeah, let's jump into that briefly. American Man with the good eye. These no blacks, hood. You are relatively correct. These are not quote unquote black people. These are a very Latinated group of people. Is that a word? Is Latinated a word? Somebody hit up their AI real quick. All right, somebody check AI. Is Latinated a word? Can we turn Latin into an action word? We're using Latin. We're conjugating Latin into a verb. These people have been Latinated. They have like surely some American Negro melanin in them, but at the same time, I mean, Corey Ruiz, it's not exactly a Jenkins or a Jones, but whatever. And what I think is happening is probably like a mixture of Black and brown America right here, because all things are possible under God's diverse American umbrella. But I think it's interesting that we're having this odd moment of Black brown solidarity. It's almost like they're leveraging the interracial dating part of it all, because typically without these little one-off Romeo and Juliet situations, the Blacks and the Browns don't always mingle. You'll catch some lovebirds here and there on both sides. It is what it is. It's not picking on nobody. But as a general rule, the Blacks are the Blacks and the Browns are the Browns, just like every other group. Most people are not really in a big rush to interracially date. It's just few people. And it's like we're going to capitalize on that moment to now like have this like totally astroturfed moment of Black and brown solidarity.
Some kind of peace for us knowing that this murderer is not able to do this to somebody else.
Yeah, they're probably not Puerto Ricans. I mean, no bull. There are a few darker Puerto Ricans, but as a rule of thumb, Puerto Ricans are not that dark. Now, Dominicans, on the other hand, Dominicans have a whole shade. They run the actual Black American gambit of shades of blackness, right? As a one time, I wonder if my card is still valid. I was an honorary Dominican many years ago. It was a Christmas party a long time ago. I was made an honorary Dominican. It was great. Yeah, all that shit. It was great. But the Dominicans, they actually do run a shade. You got a lot of like, milky white blanquitas or whatever, and then you got the straight up brown skins. I don't know if you get a lot of really black ass, dark ass Dominicans, but they do get really brown from time to time. But it's an interesting moment of some type of racial solidarity, across the no, not even racial, but more like multi-ethnic solidarity, I think is a proper term.
This time we will hear from Marjorie, Ali, Omar, the mother of Khalil, who is Corey's only daughter, only child. And then after that, you will hear from his daughter. So Marjorie, if you could share.
Please excuse me if I ramble all over the place. I'm very nervous. I've been a part of this family for a very long time, since I was a little girl. And since I had my daughter, they have been my biggest support system. If he couldn't support her, they were there. So I really appreciate even having the opportunity to come up here and speak on his behalf.
Wait. What is this? Are you like his baby mama or what?
This time we will hear from Marjorie, Ali, Omar, the mother of Khalil, who is Corey's only daughter.
That is Corey's baby mama. Right. So she kind of like quote unquote married into this Hispanic community over here. Because her last name is Ali, all right? She got like one of these Black Americans. She a Muslim or some shit like that. Her name is a Muslim name.
Only child. And then after that, you will hear from his daughter. So Marjorie, if you could share.
Please excuse me if I ramble all over the place. I'm very nervous. I've been a part of this family for a very long time, since I was a little girl. And since I had my daughter, they have been my biggest support system. If he couldn't support her, they were there. So I really appreciate even having the opportunity to come up here and speak on his behalf. I'm going to piggyback on Adam a little bit and say, yes, that man was very talented. He was a lyricist. He was a poet. He was an artist. He was very
He was a rapper. He was a rapper. That's why he gave him the box. So he probably rapped his way right into your fat ass drawers, didn't he? He was rapping right into your big drawers. He was a rapper, y'all. Anytime they talk about, oh, he was an artist, he was a poet. No. The nigga was a rapper. That's all that was. The nigga probably had a mixtape that he never released or some shit like that. The nigga was a rapper who was out there breaking into cars that day, though. Rap is hard. Rap is a rough industry. It takes a lot to like break into the game. It really does, man.
Even having the opportunity to come up here and speak on his behalf. I'm going to piggyback on Adam a little bit and say, yes, that man was very talented. He was a lyricist. He was a poet. He was an artist. He was very kind. And he was extremely funny. I'm definitely going to miss the jokes, the laughs, the reminiscing, and all these things that his daughter will never be able to see or know about him, because they didn't get a chance to grow old together. What I really want to talk about is the location of his death. This place is 2 blocks up the street from our home, 2 blocks away from her school. Every day she has to walk to school when she starts school, and she will have to walk past her dad's memorial, where he was murdered by people we're supposed to trust and depend on, that we're supposed to call. How are we supposed to trust to call you if we think we're going to get executed in the process? Because you might believe that we have done something wrong.
Wait a minute, but they called the police on him. Well, wait, hold on. I'm trying to understand how she could understand what happened. Like, what is her understanding of the events that happened here?
Every day she has to walk to school when she starts school, and she will have to walk past her dad's memorial, where he was murdered by people we're supposed to trust and depend on, that we're supposed to call. How are we supposed to trust to call you if we think we're going to get executed in the process?
All right. Here's another thought. All right. And I know this is a bad time to sell you on this particular feature. But what if I could also tell you that if you call the police on a dangerous person who was out to harm you or your loved ones, we might shoot that nigga to death too. Don't you feel safer knowing that if you call the police because you see a dangerous guy with a giant butcher knife in his hoodie walking around trying to get into people's cars and they shoot that nigga in the face, I might feel better. I would buy them some cupcakes, all right? I would buy, I think they deserve cupcakes. If I call the police on you, and like if I call the police, because I look out of my window and I happen to see a suspicious person, right? Black, white, whatever, right? Doesn't matter if he was from Japan, from Togo, from Nigeria, whatever. If I see anybody in my neighborhood that looks like they're up to no good, and I call the police on them, and they get into a fight with the police and they shoot that up to no good looking person, well, God damn it, I owe you a beer. I owe you. I come on, it's the neighborly thing for me to do. It really is. Now, speaking of neighborly things, I want to say, first off, shout out to my man True Hype. I didn't even catch this until later on after the show yesterday, but shout out to True Hype. He hit me with a 5-ball over on buymeacoffee.com. Appreciate you so much for that. Thank you for hitting the support button. Click the link to support the show. Buy me a coffee of any size over on buymeacoffee.com. The link is pinned in the chat.
I need that money. Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
And also, while we're here, my man Jamar with the big 20 ball, he says, paying for my ticket. I appreciate that. He bought the big ticket. He bought the big ticket, y'all, and it cost a lot of money. I appreciate that, man. Do me a favor, y'all. Like, share, subscribe, and make sure to support the show. Be like my man Jamar. Pay for your ticket, y'all. Pay your fare.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. And with this, I dress myself in cashmere. I dress myself in $100 pleated slacks. I dress myself of a gun, the biggest star of them all. It costs a lot of money to bring the real world champion on location. Only an Arnie and Ricky. We do it better than everybody else. Don't wrap me up. No.
That's right, y'all. We do it better than everybody else. Don't wrap me up.
Because you might believe that we have done something wrong. Not that you know, but you might believe. That's not fair. It's not fair to her to have to see or deal with this. Sorry. When I got the call, I had already seen the video. But the angle that I had seen, I couldn't tell who it was until his sister called me screaming. Devastated me. And I couldn't get to her because she was in Texas. If anybody, it's my support system, it's her. So not getting to her was the worst thing I ever felt. So I don't even know how they feel. I just know I need to protect my daughter, and I need people to stop looking into what happened, what his past was, what any of that. Look at what happened. There's too many.
We were looking at what happened. He was out there fighting with the police, y'all. You would think after all this time, all right, think about this for a minute. Think about this for a minute. If Black folk were really afraid that the police was out here like white supremacy hunting niggas, right? It was like they was just out here wrangling niggas all the time. And every time you encountered the police, your life was in danger. If Black people really thought that, you would think that niggas would actually behave better, right? I think about this for a minute, right? This is why we call a thing like North Korea, a country like North Korea, a totalitarian state, right? Because every citizen at every level, everybody but number one guy himself, they all know that they will be punished with immediate and efficient brutality, right? They know that if they get out of line, all the weight of the world will be brought to them quickly, right? And so the whole country is incredibly well behaved in their devotion toward the leader, right? Because they all know that I can't do anything or everything is going to happen to me, right? That's how it is when you watch like these parades. You ever see like the North Korean parades or whatever, and they're all walking around, they're like goose stepping all in uniform, like they really get it together or whatever, right? But one of the things that goes along with that really precise type of culture is, you know, a level of brutality. You know, they might not even punish you first. They might go visit your house and then they let you know that you're in trouble, right? Things like that will happen in a place like that. None of that happens to Black people in America. There is no like secret police, you know what I mean? There's no real political oppression. Unless you're like a far-right Republican or something. But generally speaking, Black people don't really have the level of fear that would go along with the level of accusation that Black people constantly make about living under oppression. Like, you niggas don't act oppressed. I guess I could sum all that up in that one like short, beautiful phrase, right? You niggas don't look oppressed to me.
Many videos. There's too much evidence to say anything otherwise. Both of his hands were restrained. How was he attacking anybody? Yeah, that's right. He was on his knees. Yeah, this makes no sense. That's really what I want to say. I hate that she has to walk past this every day. And I hate that she can't see him grow old. I hate that he will never see her graduate. She can't even graduate 8th grade with her dad there.
Clearly, you're going to have to move now. I mean, she can't walk past that every day. I agree. You're just going to have to move now. I mean, it's not like they can, like, you know, what are they going to do? Rip the street up? Like, no, you're just going to have to move. Sorry.
No girl, nobody, no kid should grow up without their father. She had enough time without him. She needed time with him. We were.
Hold on. Whoa. Wait a minute. Why did she have so much time without him? Why did she lose all of this time without her father? What was her father doing with all of his time that was more valuable than spending it with her? Was he working on an oil rig out in the North Atlantic? Was he working on one of those deadliest catch fishing boats? Did the nigga catch king crab on a little tiny fishing boat? What was he doing? Why did he miss all this time with his daughter? Because, listen, I don't get me wrong. I'm a father. I have a heart. I've missed time with my daughter. All my children, really. I've missed time, but there was a reason for it. I wasn't in jail. It wasn't that, though. At least not for a long time. Thank God, ever since my kids have been born, I've only ever been arrested momentarily. I never got in no real trouble ever since my kids were born. Ever since I started having children, I kind of lowered the threshold of the type of trouble I was willing to get into. You feel me? But I've never missed a lot of time. I've missed time away from my children for more domestic reasons. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to your mom about that type of shit, But like, I was out mining for cobalt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was missing time away from the children for more practical, like for more acceptable reasons as a father. As a father, I think mining for cobalt is a pretty good reason why you had to miss time away from your children. You know what I mean? You know how hard it is to dig for cobalt? Somebody got to do it. And the big guy chose me. But like, why would you be missing all this time away from your kid? Look at that little girl. She looked like a cute little kid. Look at that little fat face. Why would you want to run away from that little cute fat face? Could you imagine how adorable she was as a baby? Look, she's all cute and chubby now. Imagine how adorable she was as a baby. Why would you be missing all that time away from that adorable little baby face? What the hell was he doing? What was he doing?
That's really what I want to say. I hate that she has to walk past this every day. And I hate that she can't see him grow old. I hate that he will never see her graduate. She can't even graduate 8th grade with her dad there. No girl, nobody, no kid should grow up without their father.
I mean, not for nothing. There was a possibility she was going to graduate without him anyway. That nigga was about to go to jail. Which I was going to bail him out. That nigga was about to go to jail anyway. Like, what you mean?
She had enough time without him. She needed time with him. We were hopeful for a future. We were looking towards a future. And we'll never get that. His family won't get it. His daughter won't get it. I won't get it. I love them. I love him. He loved me. He loved everybody. He was not a violent person. He made mistakes, but he was never violent, no matter what anybody is saying. He was not a violent person.
Listen, I'm going to declare this right now. If I ever get killed by the police because I was doing some crazy shit, don't speak for me. Just be like, hey man, I'm sorry he's gone. Don't get out there and be like, that nigga wasn't crazy. Maybe I was crazy. I don't know. But don't embarrass yourself on my behalf, because you're going to make the whole gang look bad, all right? I already made the gang look bad enough. Don't make the rest of the gang look even crazier by being like, well, no, see what had happened was, no. Let me just hold my L and death, all right? I probably wanted to die in a bang anyway. You know what I mean? Don't take that away from me. All right. I wanted to go out with a bang, goddammit. But we have the whole, and it's actually relatively rare in that we have the majority of the good part of the confrontation caught on tape. I will say, I don't think punching your suspect in the back of the head is anywhere in the police manual. I got to tell you, you're probably going to go down for at least that much, if not more. But yeah, punching the suspect is probably not in the police manual. Now, you heard the taser being deployed. Multiple tasers, I believe, were deployed here. Now, this video was edited. I didn't edit the video, so I don't even like the angles of it all here. But let me see if I can dig up a slightly better angle on this whole thing, because it does appear that he was struggling with a knife in the moment, at least. You know, and the thing is, right? It was a big ass like kitchen knife, right? I mean, are the cops riding around with big ass kitchen knives in their pockets? Like, did you tuck a kitchen knife under your bulletproof vest just in case you had to plant it on a suspect? Like, it's a, you know, it's an interesting thing to have like a really big knife like that out of the home in general. And I'm kind of like, you know, you pull a knife like that out on me, you know, shooting you is just the obvious, easy solution, right? Maybe if it was a little tiny knife, like maybe if it was a little butter knife, you know what I mean? Maybe if it was one of those little red Swiss Army knife things, I might, you know, step back and let you try to shoot the hands with me, right? But once you pull a kitchen knife out, once I see the handle of a kitchen knife, I'm like, oh, you know, threat level dead. Like we instantly have to up this to a murder thing. Because like, bruh, I'm not trying to be wrestling with no nigga who got a whole Michael Myers knife on him. Like, bruh, you don't wrestle with the Michael Myers dude, bruh. All right, we're gonna edit that part. We're gonna have to edit that part of the show out. I didn't show you that. But that is basically the dirty version, as it were. Looked like he dumped right into his face too. It was crazy work. He dumped right into his head, like. And of course, we have the aftermath of it all. I want to now. I'm trying to do this in sequence, really, because it's been like 2 or 3 days, and I know I had footage of that press conference. I'm gonna pull up some footage from the press conference in a minute, but let's move away from that for now.
And it just hurts so much knowing I can't see my father anymore. People, whoever is saying, oh, but he was a criminal. So what? He had a family. He had me.
Whoa! Whoa! Damn. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. This is how you know the community is cooked, man. So what if he was a criminal? He was my dad. He was, of course. I listen. You know what? I'm not even mad at her for saying that. Because if anybody should feel like that about you, it should be your little kids. All right, they're not even old enough to be morally confused yet. You know, I respect the fact that she's a little girl and she's not morally conflicted about loving her father no matter what. Because a lot of us have dads who are pieces of shit and you love them anyway, all right? Not my dad. My dad was actually kind of awesome, all things considered. But I get that you love your daddy. All right. I'm not even gonna pick on this little girl. I'm not even gonna act like that's the end of the world. But that did just throw me for a loop though. Yeah. Her brain ain't fully developed yet. All she knows is love. Right? That's all she knows is love for her daddy. She doesn't have like her whole medulla oblongata fully formed yet. You know, her frontal lobe ain't fully lobing properly right yet. You know what I mean? But yeah, that one threw me off. But you got it, little girl. You got it. You love your daddy. I don't care what he did. You love your daddy.
The last time I talked to him, it was for a short period of time, and I wish it'd been longer. I wish I could see him one more time. I wish he could tell me how much he loves me one more time. He tried to do his best for me and his family. I wish you was.
We know he did. We know he tried his best. All right, he tried. All right, tried to rob a liquor store. Tried to rob a gas station. Tried to rob this old lady house that one time, but she was still home because she stays up all night, so she caught him. And then most recently, he tried to break into some cars. All right, the nigga tried. You can put that on his tombstone, baby girl. All right, he tried. He tried a lot of things. That's why he kept going to jail, because he kept trying different things. You got to keep trying until you make it, all right? This is what they say about America. Everybody feels like they're just millionaires who haven't happened yet. And he was trying. You know, he was going to get rich or die trying, and he didn't get rich.
Still here, so I would never in a million years think that I would see my father on a shirt, a pin, a necklace on social media saying he was shot and killed by a police officer.
My Lord.
How can I call you knowing you shot my father? How are you gonna have 4 policemen?
Don't worry, sweetie. I'm sure you wasn't gonna call that many police anyway. I'm sure you wasn't pressed to call the police anyway. Who wrote this speech for you, by the way? Did Ben Crump write that for you?
On one black man. On top of that, by a police officer.
My Lord.
How can I call you knowing you shot my father? How are you gonna have 4 policemen on one black man? On top of that, how are you gonna be scared of us if you're supposed to save us and you kill us?
How are you afraid of the police, but you desperately want the police to come help you? How does that work? How? Shout out to my man Smarty Pants with the $2 coffee donation. He says, you got to show my meme. You know what's so funny? I think I uploaded that shit already. Look. You thought I didn't like you, huh? You thought you had to pay me to notice you. I had your goddamn meme ready anyway, bro. Anyway, but I'm going to keep the $2 coffee donation. All right? Going to buy me like a mocha frappe latte or some shit. Gonna buy a gay coffee with this $2 you gave me. But shout out to my man Smarty Pants. He wanted me to show y'all the meme. No melanin, no freedom. What the hell? I love memes, by the way, though. I love a good meme. Meme culture is everything, y'all. Meme culture, it really is the best. I heard Joe Rogan and some other guys talking about memes as if memes are going to be the new hieroglyphics. And on some levels, there is a truth in that like a hieroglyphic is basically an image that conveys a message, you know, and if it's a language, it's a widely commonly understood message, right? Like if I show you a picture of an owl, you know that this owl represents like Thoth or whatever his name is. And memes in the modern world have begun to convey or begun to have that type of power to convey a really powerful idea with just a singular image. But memes typically are a little bit more layered than just a singular image. But sometimes all you take is just, you know, a picture of a person and you know, like Sophie Cunningham pointing at that angry black lesbian athletic basketball player, her pointing alone is like the meme that angered 1,000 black lesbians, right? It was just the power of her pointing and then capturing that moment in a picture. This is why the WNBA doesn't want to let her monetize that picture, because they literally said you pointing like that might be a threat to black lesbians in the WNBA. And so we can't let you do that, right? That's how powerful a meme can be. That's how powerful a meme can be. And this is the meme that one of our favorite audience members, Smarty Pants, sent to me. He sent it right at the beginning of the show, and I had kind of passed that part already, so I didn't get a chance to include it when I typically run a couple of memes at the open of the show. But shout out to my man Smarty Pants for supporting the show. Hit that like button, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Do all those things for me. And hit me on Venmo at The Conservative, or click the link in the chat. You can support me over on buymeacoffee.com, where you can get me a big coffee, a little coffee, a mini coffee, any kind of coffee you want.
Give me the money. Give me the money for all I would do. Give me the money.
But I appreciate the support, man. Thank y'all so much for coming out today. I really, really do mean that. Where were we? Oh, yeah, the little girl.
It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. I just wish it had been a different way. I would just wish, like, what if the police never been called? What if they just let him go? What if they de-escalated the situation?
What if they had just let him go? This is where we are in black discourse now. Just let him go. I mean, because you'd have to kill him otherwise. You could just let him go. And me, I'm over here like I was perfectly fine with him dying, ma'am. We were prepared for tragedies today. This is really where we are in like the black discourse. You could have just let him go. And of course, you had to put that in the mouth of a little girl, right? You couldn't be man enough to talk that goofy shit by yourself. You had to put that in the mouth of a little ass girl. Got some hoes for that.
Anger boiling over in the streets of Madison, Wisconsin, after 38-year-old Corey Ruiz was shot and killed by police at a busy intersection on the city's Near East Side. His mother breaking down at an emotional news conference.
He was my love. He loved his daughter. He loved his family. He did not deserve to be taken out like that. They took my baby from me.
Police say it started Wednesday afternoon with a call about a man allegedly checking the doors of parked cars. Officers spotted him, but police say he took off on a bike. They caught up with him roughly a half hour later. ABC News compiled the available video to break down what happened next. Here, Ruiz coming off that bike as 4 officers tried to arrest him. Police say he pulled a fixed blade knife. Officers try a stun gun. Police say it didn't work. The struggle continues. Ruiz ending up on the ground on his side, then 3 shots. He died at the hospital. Police say the officer who fired was injured by that knife.
Look at that knife.
None of the officers were wearing.
Look at that knife. Do you think they were riding around and they had that knife in the squad car waiting for the right moment? Or maybe like one of the cops had it tucked in his vest, like I said earlier, and they was just waiting. Like, you never know when you have to, you might need to shoot a nigga and plant a knife or something on him, right? You never know. And they had that knife just ready and waiting. Do you think that's what happened? That's a big ass knife. Like, that's the knife I cut chicken in half with. Right? My knife is sharp too. It cuts right through the bone, slice that shit perfectly. It's great. It's a good knife. That is a big knife.
Who fired was injured by that knife. None of the officers were wearing body cameras. The department doesn't require its officers to use them. All 4 officers are now on administrative leave. The State Justice Department investigating this as a homicide. And this morning, the family, joined by attorney Ben Crump, is demanding charges.
I wish I could see him one more time. I wish he could tell me how much he loves me one more time.
Now let's jump over to the press conference.
Did not, the thinnest of trust in the city right now did not start.
No, we can shut this down. You can stop talking because we don't want to hear anything you've been saying. You're going to say the same thing you all say every time a black body gets shot down in this city. This is a corrupt city. That's right. Have no fear. The anti-Zionist is here. You understand me? You won't be able to talk today because I'm going to keep talking.
And now we have officially entered the protest phase of today's show. Yeah, you knew this part of the show was coming. I mean, I think some of y'all tuned in because you wanted to see some of the protesty bullshit. And here we are. We have now entered the black fatigue, niggas gone wild protesting part of the show. Niggas really have gone wild, by the way. I don't really understand you niggas no more. Like when George Floyd was happening, like on the first day, I at least understood why you guys were angry. And then eventually I kind of started to get over you niggas and I started watching more of the video and I was like, oh, well, you know, F them. But generally, just I don't understand anything about you niggas no more.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. I was born to talk my talk and walk my walk too. I told these young people back here on our way here that we have the power, not that badge, not that weapon. We have the power. The city of Madison is corrupt. From the DA to the what's the name of this? The Department of Independent Monitoring. We don't want.
Now, I don't know exactly like the demographics of a place like Madison, Wisconsin or whatever, but I'm willing to bet my pinky toe that Madison, Wisconsin is a very white liberal area. Because the vast majority of the Midwest is white liberal heaven. And it wouldn't shock me to know that you're basically calling all your old white hippie liberal neighbors racist conspiracy theory people. Like these are the white supremacy people you've been looking for this whole time. Up there in Madison, Wisconsin, y'all.
Any of that talk. You've given us this speech with you'll deliver justice. Oh, we've seen the cameras. We've seen it was a knife in this young man's hand. We don't want to hear that today. We didn't want to hear it when they put their neck on George Floyd's neck. We don't their foot on George Floyd's neck, and we don't want to hear it today. What do you have to say about that? No. Oh, you don't get to talk, I said. Right. Go ahead.
I'll step aside. And
that's right. Give me this microphone then. Excuse me. That's right. My name is Carlos.
He took the mic, y'all. This nigga took the mic. And you know what? I really got to say this, man. Fuck them police, y'all. You just gonna let that nigga punk you like that? You just gonna let that nigga punk you like that, man? You know what? Fuck them police, man. That's crazy work. I can't believe the police just let that nigga punk him like that. Why you not lynching him? Why you not beating that nigga with a billy club right now?
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
I thought you niggas told me that this was oppression. We was like one vote away from slavery. Isn't that what they told us? Remember when Trump got reelected and they said we were all going to have to report to our local plantations or whatever? You niggas told me that we was just one vote away from slavery. And here you go, this white policeman just lets you steal. That's probably assault too. Like if you snatch a thing from my hand while I'm holding it, is that not assault and theft and assault too? Is that not some type of assault? Like you can't just like snatch things from me, right? I don't know how this works. I'm not the big white policeman, right? I am not the big white police. I don't know the law.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
Why are you not beating that nigga like the nigga he is?
I represent APTAP, all power to all people, zero power to Zionists, zero power to capitalists, zero power to colonialism. What you are doing right now in this city is continuing the disgusting nature of colonialism, the disgusting nature of imperialism. Look up the definition of imperialism. It's all within the policies, which means when these police officers come down on the street and they decide that they want to take the life of another brown body, there is no oversight for that. That's imperialism, ladies and gentlemen. This man signed up to be an enforcer of imperialism. Is there anybody else want to say anything? It doesn't matter what, okay, the people want to talk. Come up here, the people want to talk. The people want to talk. Come up here. This is our press conference. And I put my lips all over this microphone. Power to the people. No power to Zionists. That's right. Anybody got anything they want to say? Let us know. You got some questions y'all want to ask? Ask us some questions. We're taking questions. Anybody. I didn't think so. Turn up your Zionist noses because it is time for you guys to wrap it up. You got, it's time to go. You don't have no questions. Let's go. It won't be no meeting today. You go for it.
Important that we are all here for a conversation. And I would like to hear what the police chief has to finish saying. And I want you to also be a part of that conversation because this is an opportunity for us to have a conversation.
So what you're doing is you coddling up to imperialism, brother. There will be no coddling to imperialism. If you don't have a question about what kind of charges are going to be brought by so you are coddling to imperialism. I don't stand for that. I'm fundamentally rejected, brother. You can get on. If you got some questions about what's going to happen to these pigs that killed that young man because he appeared to be homeless, then let us know. Will there be just so? That sounds like a song. There will be no investigation.
So the question is, police chief told
What's your question?
Can he talk? Investigating this as a homicide. I like that answer. What's your question? Now let him finish so that we can actually hear the
And now you're yelling at a black woman continuing to discuss this. I don't care. He's raising his voice. You're telling him something and he should listen. Because you are the backbone. Do what you need to do.
What you're not going to do is tell the system
what she needs to do about me. What I'm not going to do, what I'm not going to do is hey, you don't get to walk up on me, brother. You don't get, it don't matter. You don't get, I ain't no shaking no motherfucking hands with no imperialists. I don't do that. Okay, you're in my space right now too. Now I'm gonna back up right here, and if you keep walking up on me, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Let me put my things down. That's aggression. That's a sign of it. I'm backing up. This man approached me. I don't care if your hand was out, brother. Don't do that. I'm from the ghetto. I'm from gang culture. We don't do that, brother. Don't walk up on me like that. I have PTSD. Okay. And that's the problem right there.
Right, so tell him to calm down. No, right, tell him to calm down.
This ain't your show, brother.
I'm tired too.
Hey,
okay, so he's gonna have a conversation or he's going to calm down.
This is all I'll say. Brother, it ain't no, that's right. No, that's right. Don't get y'all some rest. And these are the ladies and gentlemen that will rest good tonight. They're going to sleep good tonight. Anti-imperial.
And I don't know what type of black man you used to being around, but you're not gonna disrespect women like that, my brother.
That's what you're gonna do.
Because I'm like that.
No, you're not.
I'm like that.
Because if you was, you'd have did.
I'm like that.
Do it. Do something.
You talk.
Show me how like that you are. Then show me if you like that, young man. I ain't here for that. I'm not here for a good time.
Right.
I don't.
I understand. Now I'm gonna pause this for a minute because it actually goes on for well, it's almost over actually, but you can tell this went on for a little bit, and I think it's ironic, the lack of self-awareness that this whole exchange reveals is it's worth taking a minute to look at. Right. Ghetto, pure and simple. But not only is it ghetto, right? This is literally why that gentleman, Corey Ruiz, has been shot by the police, right? That whole attitude. You guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I was doing a show. I was just kind of having a little bit of a stream of consciousness type of moment when I was thinking about the idea of what I called being conflict prone. And what I basically argued is that what if the reason, broadly speaking, there's individual problems, every story is its own story, whatever. But what if, as a broader concept, one of the general trends that plays a huge role in Black people being shot by the police, which for one, Black people are not being shot by the police at any disproportionate rate. Honestly, the numbers say that you niggas need to be getting shot more. If we're keeping it a buck, if we're going by numbers and statistical averages, you niggas probably should be getting shot a little bit more than you are. But that's neither here nor there. The thing is, though, what if the reason for a lot of outcomes, a lot of these outcomes, these fatalities, is that you are conflict prone? The culture that you are raised in, the culture that you're kind of showcasing right now, the posture, the energy that you're taking, the willingness to engage with the very Black people that you claim to want to now represent. The minute any of these other Black people try to get you to calm down and meet us on a more civilized level, you immediately tell them, oh, you are, what do you call them, a Zionist sympathizer? Like, what the hell is Zionism, bro? Listen. I probably could talk to you forever about all the bad things about the Zio or whatever, but this is not that. We didn't come here for that, all right? The anti-Zionism rally is down the block at the college, okay? That's where they're doing the anti-Zionism rally. Up here, we're trying to figure out why niggas keep getting shot by the police. And I'm just laying my theory out there that Black people, for probably a variety of reasons that vary depending on who you're talking about, but Black people are in real life conflict prone. We not only engage in conflict at a higher and with more intensity than a lot of other people would think the moment calls for, but if you listen to a lot of Black music, if you listen to a lot of Black people, if you watch Black social media, you might get the impression that a lot of Black people actively look to engage in conflict. Like, think about that. Think about this phrase. I bet, put a 1 if you've heard this phrase before. I wish a nigga would. Put a 1 in the chat if anybody has ever heard the phrase, I wish a nigga would. Matter of fact, if you are a nigga that ever wished another nigga would, put a double 1 in the chat. All right, Nana, you're going to him already with the ones. But if you yourself have ever wished a nigga would, you know what I mean? It's okay. Own your shit. You know what I mean? Own your shit. I have been on my shit every now and then where I too have wished a nigga would. And to be fair, when those wishes come true, it's not really a great moment for anybody involved. I am man enough and adult enough to own and understand that reality. Me wishing a nigga would and then granting my wish doesn't actually end well for me or the nigga that I wished upon. You know what I'm saying? It's not the best thing ever for nobody. And now, as an adult, I no longer wish a nigga would. I wish you don't make me. Now, as an adult, I just please don't make me have to. That's maturity. That is adulting. Going from I wish you would to please don't make me have to, which I am no less willing to engage. I just feel different about it now. You feel me? That's really what adulting boils down to. It's the process from going from I wish a nigga would to please don't make me have to. I wish a nigga wouldn't. That's reality. You know what? That really is reality. Like, honestly, I wish a nigga wouldn't. Because if you do, then I do. And whatever happens after that, God knows. Good luck and Godspeed. But like, I no longer wish a nigga would. And what you really witnessed from this guy who came up into the police press conference and he took the mic from that nice white policeman and he was up there basically threatening violence. I think, was he threatening a black woman too? I kind of lost track of the chaos at the minute. I'm gonna run it back a few frames because I did lose track of the chaos. But basically, he's like, he never got out of that phase of life. I don't know how old he is right now. He looks too old though. But at some point in life, you should move on from that I wish a nigga would phase of life to I really wish a nigga wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, there is so many things that I could like do to ruin our lives if you do that. And I just wish you wouldn't do that thing. Like, because if you do that thing, then I'm gonna do this thing, and now the thing's done, and it's just not gonna be good for anybody, no matter what. And really getting to that point of life that I really wish a nigga wouldn't is maturity. And honestly, not only that, I think this is also why a lot of other ethnicities look, they have a negative opinion of Black America at large, because Black America consists of far too many people that wish a nigga would. I wish a nigga would tell me to lower my radio as I'm, out in public, sitting on this bus in an enclosed environment, with my boom box, right? I wish a nigga would tell me to stop being rude to random people. Like Black America has gained that reputation of just being uncomfortable to deal with, unmanageable in a polite situation, and it's not a really good reputation to have.
I'm from gang culture. We don't do that, brother. Don't walk up on me like that. I have PTSD. Okay, and that's the problem right there.
Right, so tell him to calm down.
No,
right, tell him to calm down.
This ain't your show, brother.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
Hey, brother,
So he gonna have a conversation or he gonna calm down.
This is all I say. Brother, it ain't no, that's right. No, that's right. Go get y'all some rest. And these are the ladies and gentlemen that will rest good tonight. They're going to sleep good tonight. The anti-imperial.
And I don't know what type of black man you used to being around, but you're not gonna disrespect women like that, my brother.
Now and look, now you got to use the woman card. Oh, you're not going to disrespect women like that, my brother. Now we got to make it about women so we can justify our beef together. And El Cid is great. El Cid has the great eye. Beware of the fanny pack, y'all. I'm just telling you, it's not like an old school thing. You're not gonna see a lot of old heads running around with a. Oh, the only old people who have a gun in their fanny pack are like boomers. Armed boomers may occasionally have a gun in the fanny pack, but as a general rule, young Black men with fanny packs are armed. I'm surprised they didn't pat that nigga down walking into whatever this thing is. Like, you suck as police, y'all. Fuck these police for real. And I'm not even anti-police. I just think those guys are horrible. Like, fuck them police, no matter what. Fuck them twice, because them niggas is terrible. You let this nigga in his fanny pack just run up in here uncontested. How you let a nigga with a fanny pack just go unchallenged? Come on now. That's not even good police work. That is the shittiest police work I have ever seen in my life. God damn it. These niggas is really horrible. They really is. They really, really is horrible. And you know what? Let me just take a moment, because I was just looking through some shit, and I just realized I owe somebody a shout out. This kind of came in off hours. So shout out to everybody who watches this show on replay. We got a lot of people in here watching right now. Appreciate everybody coming through. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. But my man Brad dropped $40 on the Venmo last night, y'all. And we got to thank Brad. We got to thank my man Brad for dropping a 40 ball on a Venmo.
Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
You know, I retired the 40 ball song because, you know, I'm a good guy and I don't want to promote 40 ball culture no more, you know. But at the same time, plus, you know, 40 ball culture costs a lot of money. And shout out to Brad for giving up a lot of money, man.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. And with this, I dress myself in cashmere. I dress myself in $100 pleated slacks. I dress myself in alligator shoes. I wear a $15,000 Rolex. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, gift stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like jet flying. Son of a gun, son of a gun. The biggest star of them all. It costs a lot of money to bring the real world champion on location. Only an Artie and Ricky. We do it better than everybody else. Don't wrap me up. No.
Good tonight. They're going to sleep good tonight. Anti-imperial.
And I don't know what type of black man you used to being around, but you're not gonna disrespect women like that, my brother.
That's what you gonna do.
Because I'm like that.
No, you're not.
I'm like that.
Because if you was, you'd have did
I'm
something.
like that.
Do it. Do something.
You talk
Show
about.
me how like that you are then. Show me if you like that, young man. I ain't here for that. I ain't here for that. I'm not here for a good time.
Right.
I don't. I understand.
We don't do that here. Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, thanks for welcoming me in to Madison, Wisconsin. I feel great. I feel great. I feel good. I'm the happiest I've been in years right here in Madison, Wisconsin.
And I have to reiterate before we drop this clip, this is why y'all be getting shot by the police, man. That attitude, that energy, that posture. You know what? Actually, this is probably a great time to take a segue to talk about Black excellence, y'all. I know it's an awkward ass segue, right? Like now of all times, this nigga want to talk about Black excellence. Like, what type of nigga would pick a moment like this to bring up Black excellence, y'all? I know. But this young lady made a really long video because the very idea of Black excellence started to rub her the wrong way. And I feel her on this in a lot of ways. You know what? I think just, you know, sometimes you just got to sit there and say it. Even if nobody else heard you at the moment, just say that shit. You know, that's why she recorded it so we could watch it later.
Okay, I'm gonna just get straight to the point. I had to re-record this video because I realized I had to police my tone. But here it goes. Black excellence doesn't exist. You can go and preach this Black power shit, Black unity shit. Black excellence does not exist. Because the shit.
I mean, look, they just tried to have Black unity at that police press conference, and they was about to have fisticuffs, y'all. They was about to knuckle up for Black unity.
You can go and preach this Black power shit, Black unity shit. Black excellence does not exist. Because the shit that I seen tonight working my shift made me really throw my hands up with the Black community and say, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I'm gonna give you some context. So on my shift that I just got off on, I had to spend majority of my shift being called out to leave my municipality to go help another municipality, along with the entire South Suburban fucking police departments from different South Suburban municipalities of 30 plus fucking officers, from TAC units to K9s to just all.
So these are suburban Negroes, right? Because you're pulling up all these suburban cops. You must be out in the suburbs, right? Because that's how the suburbs do. If there's a big thing, all the counties get together and form up like Voltron, right? So y'all had to do the Voltron thing for these young Negroes, right?
All different types of patrol divisions had to go and assist another municipality for a team takeover that consisted of 1,000 plus fucking kids. Spent hours trying to corral these kids to put them into one location so that parents can come pick them up. And in the process of doing this, I saw some of the most horrendous, horrific shit that I never thought I'd see in my fucking 36 years of living. Let me further explain. There were little girls out there with skirts so fucking short that you can't even call them skirts. They look like they were just covered in pieces of cloth. They had booty shorts, panties on even well.
Hold up. You young girls are running around in loincloths now? Is that what's going on? Young girls running around with nothing but a loincloth on? Is that what I'm hearing? You know, I was nowhere near that. I don't need to be around environments like that anymore. I'm getting too old to be out there in the mix with young bitches who wear shit like loincloths. And I'm shocked and appalled. I, for one, am shocked. I can't believe you little young hoes is moving like that. It's terrible.
Over half their ass cheeks was hanging out underneath those skirts with fucking sports bras on, boobs all out, weave just down to the crack of their behinds with 50 pounds of fucking makeup on their face, piercings everywhere, just out there in the middle of the street with portable speakers, stopping traffic, just twerking in the middle of the fucking street. You had little boys out there, pants hanging all off their behind. Half of them look like they don't even wash their behind, just looking crusty and musty and all of the things. You got kids out there that's probably between the ages of 13 and 16. They look like grown-ass fucking kids out there smoking weed, throwing their middle fingers up saying F the police and all this other stuff, just literally all on people's property, all on people's front lawns, all on people's cars, just fucking up people's shit.
Black culture, y'all. Is that not black culture? They out there being black. They're being young and black and proud. And if you don't support them in their attempts to express their young black pride, well, then you might be racist or a coon or something like that. This lady is cooning, y'all. I think that's what they call it. This lady is cooning because she doesn't like the idea of thousands, not 5, not 10, not dozens, not even hundreds. Well, I guess 1,000 actually is hundreds, but roughly 1,000 black kids. I didn't even really look into it. I do know there was some crazy team takeovers this last weekend, but 1,000 black kids showing up to your town and running amok. I mean, at what point do we not say that this is now the black culture? You know, it's no longer Good Times and the Jeffersons and what's happening. That is the black culture of our parents and grandparents' generations, right? The black culture of my generation was, hanging on a corner straight slanging rocks. Oh man, here come a crooked ass cop. Like my generation's black culture was not Good Times and 227 and Amen either. My generation of black culture was the generation before the teen takeovers. And I gotta tell you, it actually makes sense in terms of like evolutions. This is the next evolution. You know what's crazy about what's happening right now too? and this is almost like I remember hearing this criticism about rap music, like back when I was coming up and I was getting into rap. Rappers rapped about selling drugs, right? And then the Futures and the 3 6 Mafias and all these other rappers came out and they started talking about lean and all this other shit. And everybody used to smoke weed, but lean is basically an opiate. It's like baby heroin. And more or less, rappers started rapping about being junkies, getting high. And so that was sort of an evolution of the culture in a lot of ways, right? We rapped. It was like what they call like this. This is what happens when people used to sell dope. If you sitting at the table and you bagging up dope, even if you got on like a little COVID mask on or whatever, you're probably gonna get a dope high. You're gonna get what's called a table high. You're gonna get a contact high from just handling the product. It is so reactive, and eventually you become an addict because you were a dealer. That's what happens with a lot of old head niggas that was selling dope back in the day. They become addicts, right? And that's the evolution of your life as a dope dealer. You become a dope addict. And I think something similar happened too with Black culture, as we abandoned certain norms, our norms began to devolve, and now we went from the dope dealers to now we're the dope users, and we rap about getting high, and it is effectively the rap culture. It's become the culture now. And so the point I was bringing up, I guess, is at what point do you just acknowledge that these teen takeovers are now a common element of young Black culture? Obviously, like, the church people ain't doing it, but the young niggas are.
And supposedly, y'all Black ass parents didn't know where y'all kids were. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. And what's even more fucked up about this shit, because now, yeah, it's getting ready to come out. What's even more fucked up about this shit is you got these little girls out here looking like sexy reds and shit, just out here kissing boys in the middle of the street, putting their asses and juking and popping all on little boys' private parts, ducking off into alleys with boys, doing all kind of unruly, nasty, improper shit. Police.
Not in alleys with boys. Hold on now. Hold up. They were ducking in alleys with boys, doing that nasty, improper shit.
If you don't have a man, you ain't nothing.
Miss Cantrell says being civilized and respectable became too white. Yeah. Civilized behavior actually does code as white as far as these people are concerned, and they like to code opposite of white. Therefore, they do the opposite of civilized behavior. So we're gonna fuck in the alley now. That's what we're doing now. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Middle of the street, putting their asses and juking and popping all on little boys' private parts, ducking off into alleys with boys, doing all kind of unruly, nasty, improper shit. Police. We had to go out there and corral these kids up to get them to a centralized parking lot. Canines had to pull their dogs out the car. Police officers out there with rifles. Cars with just sirens on, disturbing the residents. You had elderly folks that were scared to come out their house because it was so many fucking kids out there. And you mean to tell me that y'all didn't know where the fuck y'all kids were? One lady pulled up on us and was looking for her kid because she found out somehow that her child was out there, and she was saying that if she catch her kid, she was going to beat the living shit out of that child. And I wish I could have saw it. I'm not going to lie to you. This was really, really heartbreaking to me, because as these little girls was out there doing they whatever, and we riding around, we seeing grown ass men in their cars just driving around, just getting free shows, just watching these little girls. Whole time, y'all motherfucking black ass parents supposedly didn't know where the fuck your kids were. Out there being predatorized. Some grown ass man probably just looking for their next little girl to fuck with. But y'all parents don't know where the fuck y'all kids are. And I claim bullshit, because a lot of y'all probably knew where the fuck your kids were. You just didn't give a shit. There was a time in history that when dogs and canines were sicked on black people, black children or whatever, it's because we were fighting against racism. We were fighting for our motherfucking rights. We was fighting for the right to be treated equally. But now we got canines coming out on black people and black kids because your fucking kids is outside smoking weed, disturbing the peace, all on other people's fucking property, out there just acting a fucking complete fucking fool. We have moved backwards. I don't want to hear shit about black power and black this and black that until you fucking black parents learn how to police your motherfucking kids. Until y'all do that, I don't want to hear that shit. Fuck black excellence. It don't exist. Because this further confirmed to me tonight that black people, we are raising pieces of shit out here to be out here in the fucking world. You got these fucking kids that can't even read above a 3rd grade level, but they know how to go out here and pop and twerk and shake ass in the middle of the streets and be out here kissing boys, and boys feeling all up on little girls out here. And I'll guarantee you some of them had guns on them. Y'all are not knowing where the fuck your kids at supposedly, and they going into neighborhoods, because I guarantee you majority of those kids weren't even from that municipality. They just showed up out of no fucking where and don't even understand that they don't even know the culture of that municipality. You don't even know the type of people that live in that municipality. You don't even know how many fucking child sex offenders are in that municipality. I do. You don't know how many predators, how many men around that area that has to be registered fucking sex offenders that have to register every fucking year. But you don't know where the fuck your child at though. This is how little girls come up missing. This is how little boys get shot and end up on the fucking news, because you don't know where the fuck your kids are and they having to encounter the motherfucking police. Do you not know we were out there with canines and rifles and shit, pepper spray, all of that, just waiting for them to just fucking bug up and we do what the fuck we got to do? Because yes, there are state statutes that where we have to actually do what the fuck we got to do to stop mob action. Because that's what the fuck it is. It's mob action. To stop mob action, to stop all of that unruly shit, because you don't know where the fuck your kid at, or better yet, you know where the fuck your kid at and you just don't care because you a ain't shit black ass parent. And with that being said, don't come preaching to me about black power or black excellence. That shit don't fucking exist. When you don't know how to raise your motherfucking kids to be upstanding citizens, I don't want to hear shit. This is why I would never have any fucking kids, because I would never want my kids to grow up in this society to be poisoned by some of y'all black people's kids. Because the way they was just cursing and going on and F the police and all this other shit, this is the type of shit y'all producing out into the world, and y'all want to scream black excellence? That shit don't fucking exist. It don't exist. How the fuck you don't know where your child at 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night? And the sad part is they still out there. It just so happened I was able to get off and go home. They still out there. Y'all unruly ass fucking kids are causing police officers to leave their municipality to not service the people who's paying taxes for them to police in their own village, because yo black ass kids ain't at home where the fuck they supposed to be. I don't care what happened to y'all fucking kids. I'm gonna be honest with you, because y'all don't give a fuck about what happened to y'all kids either.
I think almost, and I'm going to pause it there. I had to let her go for a minute because, you know, why interrupt such a beautiful thing happening? Like, this was the most perfect rant. It was like watching the sunrise, you know, it was just perfect. It was like nature happening. And I didn't want to interrupt that too much, but I got to tell you, man, that let me run it back a second or two.
Home where the fuck they supposed to be. I don't care what happened to y'all fucking kids.
Put a 1 in the chat if you too have reached the F them kids phase of development as an American. As a modern American, put a 1 in the chat if you have started to feel like, you know what, man, fuck them kids, man. It's not my problem. I don't want to have to deal. I don't want to have to suffer. I don't want to have to wreck my Mercedes Benz driving through your little bastard children who feel bored and unloved at home. Okay. It's not my problem. Don't make me deal with it, because I'm probably not going to deal with it as kindly as you would like me to deal with it. And so I must retort, ma'am, I agree. Fuck them kids. You know, look, and don't get me wrong. Listen, God forbid you catch me out in the world having a physical altercation with some teenagers or whatever. You know, again, I'm getting too old for certain shit in life. It just really is that case, right? But doesn't matter. Fuck them kids. I don't care. I feel nothing. Let them have it. Unleash the hounds on these little teenage bastards. You know, and this is what we've almost like forgotten as like an element of human psychology. You can't negotiate with a mob. You have to cower the mob. That's the only way. Like, mobs as a thing have to be broken. And if you're not willing to break the mob because it's a bunch of black teenagers, then what you've now agreed to by your unwillingness to break the mob is to be terrorized and to set the tone for terrorism coming from mobs of young black teenagers. And if that is my only recourse, is to be terrorized by young black teenagers because, you know, optics or whatever, then I simply retort, fuck them kids, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, because y'all don't give a fuck about what happened to y'all kids either. I only care about the black people that care about our actual fucking race and doing what's right and making sure that they're raising kids to be productive.
Hold on. God of the sea says grenades. I like how you just threw that out there. You didn't even feel the need to like type a complete sentence. Like, you just the word grenades, right? And look at his PFP too. His fucking sunglasses on and his hat turned back. Like, you look like you're ready to toss a grenade from your living room couch too, by the way. Like, right outside, right through my front window. These little fuckers shouldn't have been on my lawn. Grenades would work though. I don't argue with the efficacy of you know, handheld artillery, but I mean, you know, grenades might be a bit much. How about a flashbang? Can we settle on flashbangs, brother? Can we? I don't want them to accuse you of a racism or nothing like that. How about a flashbang? Can we just do a flashbang?
Good fucking kids in society. To see these little girls out here looking like the fucking sexy reds and shit, leave that shit to them bitches in the music industry. Your kids don't need to be out here like that. And then you fucking wonder why us as black people, we still keep getting profiled and we still keep being stereotyped and having biases placed against us. Y'all don't not prove these people right.
You know, I was thinking about something earlier today too. It's, you know, sometimes I walk and I think, and I had a concept, you know, not quite an epiphany, but a concept was becoming clear to me. The idea of justifiable racism. Think about that for a minute, y'all. Type it in the chat, right? Justifiable racism. All right, come on. This really is like an audience participation type of show. And so you'd feel better. I know some of you would feel better. It would be cathartic if you type the words in the chat, right? Nobody else is here but us, and we all like each other here. Just type it out. Justifiable racism. Think about it. Think about it. I'm starting to wonder, generally speaking, obviously not all racism could ever be justifiable. Otherwise, racism wouldn't even be a thing. But maybe just as a thought, right? Maybe just as an idea, there has been certain racism, certain levels of racism in America from time to time that has been relatively justifiable. I know I'm not supposed to say that because I'm like a big black dude and I'm, fist in the air and all of that goofy shit. But every now and then I look at the behavior of my fellow Negro and I'm just like, you know what? If I wasn't black, I'd probably not like you niggas either. I mean, I am black and I don't really care for the vast majority of you niggas. But like, maybe, just maybe, it's not because you're black. It's because you're black and that's how justifiable racism starts to happen, right? It's not because you're black. Like theoretically, like you're black and another person is not black. So automatically being from another outside group is always a negative because like whatever you are, other people are not you. So your group is always prominent to you. Now imagine being another type of you. Like put yourself in another person's shoes, right? Being the outsider from someone else's group always counts as a relative negative. Not a life altering thing, but it's just not a positive either. And what starts to happen is you're already black and you're kind of like you kind of a nigger. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're already black and why you got to be black and a nigger? You know what I'm saying? Like you're already black and you're just a irreprehensible criminal. Like you're already black and you're like really, really, really violently retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like after a while, the fact that you're already black doesn't even matter. It pales in comparison to all of the actual things that you've done that has nothing to do with the immutable fact of your blackness. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the racism starts to feel justifiable. It's like, you know what? You're already black, and it would have been easy enough just to not like you just because you're not in my team. You're not part of my group, right? But I was willing to like you because, we got to work together. We have to share this moment for whatever reason. And I was willing to try. And so here I am with this person who was already black, and you're just horribly obnoxious. Like all you talk about is racism and oppression and coonness and white people that and all of that. Like, you know what? Maybe it's not even the fact that you're already black. You know what? I was willing to live with the fact that you're already black. It's all the other shit that a nigga do to piss everybody else off. You know what I'm saying? And that more or less explains my theory of what I am referring to as justifiable racism.
The music industry, your kids don't need to be out here like that. And then you fucking wonder why us as black people, we still keep getting profiled and we still keep being stereotyped and having biases placed against us. Y'all don't not prove these people right. Excuse me, y'all keep proving them right. Y'all don't never stop proving them wrong. And on that note, I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully you ever get your children back home safe. Hopefully some little girl didn't come up missing or nothing. Good night.
That was wild. Hopefully one of these little kids don't come up missing or something. That was wild. I don't even think she was all that hopeful. She said hopefully, but that was totally out of spite. That was the most spiteful hope I ever heard. I ain't never heard spite and hope at the same time. Like I've never heard spite mixed with hope like it was a drink at the bar. Like that was a Hope Sprite cocktail. I mean a Hope Spite cocktail. Yeah, Hope Sprite. That's what you're gonna call it. You're gonna call it a Hope Sprite. That like I ain't never mixed hope and spite ever in my life though. That was crazy. It's like It's like those two emotions aren't even supposed to go together. And then you meet an angry black woman. That was crazy. That was crazy. Like, you didn't even think hope and spite belong together. And then you meet an angry black woman and you're like, you know what? Well fucking done. All right. Well fucking done. I didn't even think you could do it, but God damn it, you done it good. You done it good, Keisha. All right. All right. I'm giving you your props, Keisha. You done it good. Hope and spite. We're doing amazing things with the negative feelings over here, y'all. We're doing amazing things. Now let's take a look at the protest.
Every time there's an interaction and a person ends up dead after an interaction with law enforcement, it is murder. I want to make sure.
Every time the police shoot a violent, armed black criminal, it's murder. Murder. Murder was the case that they gave me.
Justice for her daddy.
Justice for her daddy.
Whose daddy is that? What black man is the father of her child? Did the police take your black lover away, sweetie? Oh. I'm not going to do it to you, but there's a whole side of Twitter that has a lot of jokes that wouldn't make you feel good right now.
I also want to bring attention to the fact that the police murder with their guns and they murder with things other than their guns as well. They murder people with their bodies, with their vehicles, with spike strips, as they did to my fiance.
They murdered your fiance with spike strips? What? I hate the way women tell stories, by the way. Like, this total sidebar, but I hate hearing a woman tell a story because 80% of the time you add things that don't really need to be added at that moment. You fill me in on details that totally distract us both from the plot. Like, just killing me.
Well, they murder people with their bodies, with their vehicles, with spike strips, as they did to my fiance.
Why you got your little girl up on the mic talking about they murdered daddy? They murdered daddy. Why are you doing this to your little baby? Oh my God. Can we all just can we stop using children like this? Because then you're gonna use your kid as a sympathy leverage point, which only makes me, go harder in my resolve when I say fuck them kids. And then you're gonna be like, oh, but she's so black and cute. And I'm gonna be like, and I don't care. And then what are you gonna do? Then can you just stop bringing your kids out? They murdered my daddy. Come on, man. Why her first words is daddy dead? This is terrible. This is terrible. All your baby first words are not my daddy dead. Stop doing this to us, y'all. Because this is why black folk in general are losing sympathy. And this white lady who loves black guys is not helping at all.
And I want to make sure to say some other names as well, whose lives have been stolen. Okay, here you go. I want to bring attention to Kevin Price.
Stop trying to make me hate cuteness, okay? I'm not gonna hate cuteness just because you're weaponizing it. But you really tried, though. You really tried to make me not like cuteness, and that's just not gonna work. I have my principles, goddammit.
Who was murdered as well by Fitchburg police. I want to bring attention to the names Brandon Gully, Christopher Miller. Rodney Freeman and L.O. Johnson. Yes. I want to make sure that people remember, and this is not a one-time thing, a week thing. We are families that are living with this for the rest of our lives. Yes. Yep. Rashad and my daughter, Rashad was so excited to be a father. He could not wait. We've been together since 7th grade. And this was Rashad's dream. And he never got to hold his baby girl because I had to forcibly give birth early after Rashad was murdered and go to the hospital and birth our daughter without him.
I'm not even gonna like try to like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try to dig into her situation with Rashad, but I'm just gonna do this one for fun.
I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault.
Shout out to Rashad, Jermaine, and all y'all niggas out there, man.
So I ain't gonna lie, in my opinion, I feel like if it's ever gonna be a revolution for us to take our power as foundational Black Americans and take our power and make them people leave us the fuck alone, should it go that route, bro? I feel like it all gotta start with the Midwest, gotta be the standing ground for us, man. It gotta be like,
You know what's ironic about his desire for the Midwest to be like the pop-off point for some type of Black revolution? And you know, I've actually visited the Midwest once or twice in my life. And I gotta tell you, the Midwest, not just now, but for a little while now, for you know, roughly a generation or so, the Midwest is probably one of the most, in terms of just pure Black and white people. I'm not even looking at the other ethnicities per se, but just in terms of Blacks and whites, the Midwest as a region is probably the most sexually interracial region. Is that a thing, sexually interracial? The Midwest has a lot of interracial couples. And it's hard to imagine that the place in the country that has so many like interracial couples is also, one, incredibly racist, and then also, two, gonna be like the hotbed of the Black Revolution. Most of you niggas live in what we call the South, right? All those like Southern Miami Gulf, the Gulf of America. It really is called the Gulf of America now. That is so dope. But all those states that touch the Gulf of America, and like, you know, what else would that be? Florida, South Carolina, I think Georgia. So yeah, it's like Georgia, Alabama, and then I think that's Tennessee over there. I forget what the shape is, but I'm pretty sure there's like at least 11 states that we call like the South, and that's where all the Black population is really centered in America. You know, Black populations beyond that start to dilute like crazy.
the headquarters, bro, because I'm telling you, Midwest, we have soldiers, bro. I'm telling you, the Midwest may be the most treacherous place in the United States, man, when it comes to us foundational Black Americans with the shits. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to admit, you know, the boys in the Midwest, like when it comes to the FBAs, the craziest ones come from the Midwest. The strongest ones come from the South, like physically. The smartest ones come from the East Coast. I say the tough ones from a traditional standpoint, like the toughest, you know, it's like, you know, in terms of like, you know, willing to fight, come from the West Coast. But the Midwest, man, they crazy. They remind me of Oakland. Oakland is like a little Midwest city, man. They will go against anything, no matter the consequences. Them boys out there in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Ohio, man, them boys is wild, boy. I'll put them up against anybody, even Jamaicans, man.
The facts are. Did he make any type of aggressive movements? Did he threaten someone? Did he threaten the officers? The answer is, I think, overwhelmingly no. I think that's what the evidence supports. Perhaps the taser was reasonable.
The taser was reasonable.
You know, she said taser.
You can't tell a person, you can't tell us that a taser is reasonable in a situation and also stand on the idea that he didn't do anything. If he wasn't doing anything, then the taser could not be reasonable. I don't know how you actually can hold
The
these
taser
two
they use.
competing ideas in your mind. And you're allegedly a lawyer, Ruiz family attorney. You're the lawyer for these people.
The facts are, did he make any type of aggressive movements? Did he threaten someone? Did he threaten the officers? The answer is, I think, overwhelmingly no. I think that's what the evidence supports. Perhaps the taser was reasonable.
The taser was reasonable.
You know, she said taser.
Yeah, the didn't-do equation is not mathing, you know. There is a kind of math to I didn't do nothing, and the didn't do math just ain't didn't do mathing.
Taser, they used it. They didn't even wait 5 seconds to see the effect that the taser had on Corey. Not 5 seconds. You got 4 officers. You've already tased the guy. 2 people at least tased them. We have to wait on reports to confirm if there were more than 2 tasers. But they never even waited to see the effect of it. Instead,
you know what? I don't even know how black Corey Ruiz is, y'all. I don't know. I know his baby mama is black, but I don't know how black Corey Ruiz is, y'all. I'm willing to bet he's like 75% non-black. He's like, ethnically speaking, he's probably way more Latino than black. If I had to guess, I don't know. He might be like mostly Dominican or some shit. I can't tell you. I gotta really like get into his genetics and shit. I gotta like who that nigga daddy. I looked at his mom. His mom is basically a dark-skinned Latina woman. What does daddy look like? If his daddy, you know, a nigga from Ohio, then all right, fine. But I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, generally speaking, Latinos don't name their boys Corey, and so that gives me question. Corey is not a name you typically hear from a straight Latino family, but I really don't know. And so, and this is what I commented on at the beginning of the stream, the idea that he is kind of a bridge for the black and brown alleged alliance that we're supposed to have against the white man. And so I don't really know how black he is, but he's conveniently black enough, apparently.
they resorted to deadly force. You know, we believe have seen conduct that shocks the conscience.
The taser was reasonable.
The facts are, did
No peace. No racist. Police. What do we want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want?
You know, it was years ago when Tommy Sotomayor said flat out, black women make the worst mothers. Now, this woman is probably a little bit Latina. So I guess we got to throw the Latina moms in the hat. These woke Latinas are not great either. But yeah, they are definitely using the kids, and this don't work. This just ain't gonna help. I'm not gonna be moved by, you know, other people's children. And why are your children out at night like this anyway? Why are they not at home watching, you know, PBS or children's television or something? And we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but I have to talk about, in conclusion, really, once you start to really look at this protest, because this is the protest for Corey Ruiz. They are out at night in Madison, Wisconsin, terrorizing all the liberal white people who are out having a good time in Madison, Wisconsin. And on one hand, I mean, this is basically what happened during the Floyd protest too, but like, if you think about it, this really is like one of those Frankenstein, the golem is now returning to terrorize its maker type of stories, where all these liberal white folks have been very much in support of all these stupid black movements. And now these black folk have they have no other white people to take their anger out on, except for the stupid liberal white people that they live next to, who've been supporting their retardation and all that this whole time. These are the liberal white people that chant alongside the black people when they try to gaslight you about how oppressed they are, about how hard their life is because the white man is racist to them. And now these very black people want to pick your fucking pocket.
Hit their pockets. Hit their pockets. Hit their pockets. Hit their pockets. Give me that money. Give me that money. Give me my money. Give me my money. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey. Hit their pockets. Hit their pockets. Hit their pockets. Hit their pockets. Give me that money. Give me that money. Give me my money. Give me my money. Justice for Corey. Justice for Corey.
Now, during the George Floyd protest, I remember very quickly feeling like, you guys are not the good guys. This is not good guy behavior. Like, when you're holding people up, you're basically taking hostages in the middle of a street and like daring them to fight back. You are no longer the good guy.
The only reason I am screaming in your face is because you're out of your car. Get your hands back in your motherfucking car, and I will go away. The car! That fat pig! That fat pig, that's not cool! That you don't give a fuck about! Sorry for the inconvenience! Sorry for the inconvenience!
You're fucking screaming at the wrong people.
Look, they're all liberals who want to help the brown and black people, but they're fighting each other.
I'm not scared of you, pig! I'm not scared of you, pig!
Nobody said anything about stop it. All I said is don't fucking scream in my sister's face with a...
Well, I'ma do it! I'ma do it! I'm out here protesting! That's what a protest is!
Don't give your money to racist bars. Fuck out of the way.
Yeah, I don't know what they want to shut down. I don't know who the streets are supposed to belong to. I don't really understand anything about what I'm watching anymore, but I know I viscerally hate everybody involved in this right now. And if all the bad things in life were to happen to any of these people, I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even I wouldn't waste a single moment of thought. I would just be I would eat my Cheerios in the morning and go on with my day. I would not worry a moment about any bad things that happen to these people. You know what, Red? Now I understand why a guy to the sea earlier just typed grenades in the chat. You know, I feel bad for making him feel bad. You know what? Fuck it, grenades, y'all. Weapons free, okay? I thought this was America, people. Weapons free, all right? Grenades for everybody. God damn it. I apologize for my earlier weakness, all right? Grenades for everything. Who am I to tell a guy grenades aren't the proper solution to the problem in front of him, all right? How do I know that the problems you dealing with don't require grenades? Who am I to tell you? Who am I to tell the next man that he don't deserve grenades? Come on, man. You know what? That was wrong with me. I am not too big to admit when I was wrong, all right? And that was wrong with me. Maybe grenades are the solution. Anybody ever tell you grenades are never the answer? You tell them you just haven't asked all the right questions, all right? That's just the bottom line. Maybe grenades are the answer. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, but what if grenades are the only thing?
Justice for Corey and Elon. Come back another time. Bye-bye. Not while we're here, though. These killer cops have got to go. These killer cops have got to go.
You know the thing about going too far? At least you know you got where you needed to be, right? Like imagine where I want to get is 8, right? The number 8 is where I want to get. But I landed on number 10. Therefore, I went too far, right? But the only way to get to number 10 is to go through 8. And that's the thing about going too far. You still at least touch the place you needed to be. And I would rather go too far than not go far enough. You understand? Is that like simple enough logic? Is that wrong of me? I would rather go too far than not go far enough. You know, that's just like wisdom. I feel like I should pass down to my boys. You know, I need another son. I'm gonna try to. I got to make another son so I can create more manly wisdom and pass it down. You know, going too far is way preferable to not going far enough. All right, you got to remember that, son. You know, that sounds like the kind of advice that a father gives his son while the both of you guys are like on horseback or some shit. Anyway, I want to wrap this up with one shot. We got to take a parting shot at Ben Crump because, you know, he's trying to ride the wave on all of this shit.
But I did not continue to work with Ben Crump. I think we worked together for about 8 or 9 months. I just felt that he was avalanche chasing. He knows that. I say it to his face all the time. Yeah, I told that to him. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, him and Al Sharpton and them, and I just didn't feel that he knew what he was doing. I was getting phone calls from other attorneys stating that he didn't know the law. I wasn't feeling good about it. We just wasn't getting the answers that I wanted or I needed. And I wasn't getting like paperwork when it came to motions being filed.
Now, I apologize. The audio balancing on this clip is horrible, but bear with us, y'all. Bear with us. Show is almost over.
Or even, you know,
I saved the janky bit for the last part, y'all.
Anytime they contact with the prosecutor, I need to know everything was going on with my son. He was not getting no real justice.
So they were PR advocates, rage baiting.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But there's no output.
There's no
it's
solution.
just like, yeah, there's a face, there's a name, say his name, Tamir Rice, but like when it comes to actually getting justice and suing the city, you had to go get somebody else to do that?
Yeah, I did. Ben Crump wasn't able to do that at the time. My wrongful docket was like 8 or 9 pages long.
With Ben Crump?
Yes. So when my third set of attorneys had got it, it ended up being 138 pages, 139 pages long. So I don't know what Ben Crump was doing. I don't know if he had the skills at the time to even take my case where it needed to be. You know, I wasn't trying to get just hurry up and settle out of court. I really wanted you to go in there and fight. And then, you know, they just say he wasn't a great talker back then. So I just kept getting phone calls about him. You know?
They said he wasn't a great talker back then, which is really, really believable, because I'm not sure that Ben Crump is a great talker right now. Like I don't think he's up to his speech skill. He has not put any points on his speech skills, y'all. That nigga has not devoted any energy to his speech abilities. That nigga's speech ability is still like level 2. He really got to work on his speeching abilities.
Injury, proliferation of the left internal
Ben Crump might be the first illiterate lawyer to ever pass the bar, which makes me have all kind of questions about the bar and Black lawyers and literacy rates in general in Black America.
Injury, proliferation of the left internal I'm looking at this word because I know it's not subdural artery, but it's an artery that is the blood vessel right beneath her eye. Injury.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, Ben Crump, he really needs to advance his speech tree just a little bit, because the nigga really he been spending all his skills on pink tie money. He been trying to really get his pink tie game up, but his speech game just ain't what it's supposed to be.
Decompensation. And he talked about the organs being removed as is common.
Yes. Listen, if Black people can have mumble rappers, why not mumble lawyers, all right? Don't be trying to hold the nigga dreams back. If I can be a mumble rapper, he could be a mumble lawyer. We can mumble civilization. We can have a whole mumble culture. Mumble hating ass niggas.
Accompanied in the body cavity. Additional dissection procedures not performed during the first autopsy examination. Dissection of the ribs, the pelvic, dissection of the subcutaneous and deep soft tissue. He did all of this to rule out things. He ruled out there were no fractures or deep tissue injuries identified, because transparency is the key to getting to the answers of why Nolan Wells is not with us. He did that there and was very...
Bro, yo, you know what's crazy? I just realized if somebody kidnapped Ben Crump kids and they said, listen, you got to beat me in a game of Scrabble to get your kids back. I don't want no money. I don't want you to change no laws. I just want you to beat me in the game of Scrabble, nigga. But I. You know what? Never mind. Because now that I think about it, Scrabble might be a lot. All right, listen. Spell hippopotamus. All right. Listen, I got a gun to your daughter's head right now. All right. I'm gonna make some artwork with her if you can't spell hippopotamus. All right. Like all you got to do is spell the word hippopotamus, and you can have her back. All right. I don't want nothing from you. I just want to record you spelling the word hippopotamus. Right? That's all you got to do. Spell restaurant. All right. Like, let me stop.
Straightforward, very open, very open. Of the head during the layered posterior neck dissection revealed a 12 by 8 inch focal area of red discoloration in the deep soft tissues overlaying the occipital bone. And
the who?
Occipital bone, soft tissues overlaying the occipital bone, deep soft tissues overlaying the occipital bone.
Where on the body is the occipital bone? Is that even a human body part? Is that some shit that only gorillas have? Where is the occipital bone?
And he talked about how he found red discoloration.
True Hype said, remember Tamir Rice's mom calling him illiterate? Bro, you must have just got here too. And I was actually thanking you earlier. Thanks for your donation the other day. Appreciate you, bro. But we were just talking about, I just played that clip, True Hype. That's how we wound up on this. I said I'm going to end this show with a shout out to Ben Crump and all his alliterations. This nigga talking about occipital bones and shit.
He talked about how he found red discoloration when he cut open into, he said that etiology of this finding is unclear. There are no lacerations of the overlaying skin nor fractures of the underlying skull. These findings are inconclusive for perimortem injury due to the body.
You would think, like, a smarter man would have hired one of his, like, what's it called, like a paralegal. I would have had my assistant read that. Like, maybe he doesn't want to, like, share the spotlight by letting this paralegal get up there, but ain't no way. If I read relatively frequently on air because every now and then I don't have enough video. I gotta read a newspaper article or some shit, right? And I need to read it out loud so we can all be on the same page. And if I couldn't read to the point, if I weren't confident that I don't sound retarded when I read, like, I know I have a lisp or whatever. That's like technically a speech impediment. So maybe I should get some money. I should try to get a check for having a speech impediment because I'm disabled technically, right? But I know I don't sound actually retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just sound funny every now and then, but I don't actually sound retarded. And if I were not confident that I didn't actually sound retarded, I would never try that. I just wouldn't try it. But being a big professional, he went to law school and all of that. You would think he wouldn't let himself be, like, viewed as so obviously retarded. You know what I mean? Like, you clearly sound like all the racist black stereotypes from a couple of generations ago. Occipital bone ass nigga.
Due to both the extensive decomposition and the absence of associated injuries. This finding, however, is significant enough to be highlighted in this preliminary report for further investigation. It is important to reiterate that
You know what he sound like? He the type of nigga that reads something out loud and be proud of himself that he made it all the way to the end and shit. Watch the nigga be happy that he actually got through that shit. Like, nigga, this is very normal things that you should be way better at.
the finding could not have been observed in the first autopsy because the posterior head and neck dissection were not performed.
Boy, I tell you, man, I'm gonna be my own lawyer. I would represent myself, bro. I would rather if she was the last. If they told me I had to hire a black lawyer, I'm be like, well, I'm a lawyer. I'm representing myself because ain't no way. If it's just me and Ben Crump, like that's it. That's it. I can't. I cannot deal with Ben Crump. Ben Crump can't be my lawyer. Never ever. I'd rather represent myself. Because at least if I go to jail, I know it was because of something I did. I probably could have done better or whatever. You feel me? But if Ben Crump's your lawyer, you might not even know just how bad he messed up. You feel me? Like you might not even know all the ways that he fucked up. Because he's gonna be hitting so far like below the bar that you can't even know how far behind you are. You know what? Actually, I was gonna wrap this up. But there's something else I want to show you guys. I think I might be about to hit a viral moment on Twitter again. Let me share this with y'all. Can y'all see this? Oh, no, you can't. Let me open that up quick. And this loosely ties into what we're talking about here today on the show, where the black community, I'm a little bit confused as to like the ethnicity of Corey Ruiz and therefore the black connection to this whole thing. But he does have at least a black baby mama, so you know there's something. But I'm having this. I tweeted something on Twitter earlier today, this morning, I think. It's funny because Mexicans would never do this for you niggas. Damn, already got 2.K. Damn, already got 2,800 likes. Hold the fuck up. Let me look at my phone. Damn, I'm about to have a viral moment. That does say 2.8K likes, doesn't it? I didn't even realize. I had a feeling that tweet was about to take off because I've been looking at my mentions and whatnot, and it's been relatively active all morning. And yeah, Mexicans would never do this for you niggas. Oh yeah. Yeah, my shit just went off in the last couple of hours. While I've been live, ever since I've been live, this tweet has gone crazy. And yeah, I like my own post, all right? You gonna judge me for supporting my own work? If you don't support yourself, don't ever expect other people to support you, all right? I'm my own biggest fan, all right? I am my number one fan, God damn it. Said that shit like I was supposed to feel some type of way. Yeah, yes, I actually like me. I know, I'm shocker, right? Fucking shocked. I like me. And you should like me too. Matter of fact, the only reason you even like me at all is because I like me. Anyway.
Girl, tell me why there's a video circulating of a group of black children in an apartment complex who told their Latino neighbors to stay inside because ICE was in the complex looking for immigrants. They went outside with water guns, water balloons, buckets of water, water everything, and started spraying. They started spraying the ICE agents. I mean, they got them soaked to the point where the ICE agents had to leave.
Now, again, I went like relatively viral on Twitter. We're at 2,800 likes and counting right now on Twitter because I took this video and reposted it and said that the Mexicans would never do this for you niggas. Do you agree with me? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with my sentiment that the Mexicans would never do this for you niggas, y'all.
Girl, those kids were having the times of their lives, girl.
Mexicans ain't helping you niggas out like that.
Girl, tell me why there's a video circulating of a group of black children in an apartment complex.
And I'm tired of this nigga referring to me as girl, but whatever.
Who told their Latino neighbors to stay inside because ICE was in the complex looking for immigrants. They went outside with water guns, water balloons, buckets of water, water everything, and started spraying. They started spraying the ICE agents. They got them soaked to the point where the ICE agents had to leave. Girl, those kids were having the times of their lives, girl. Okay, babies, y'all did that. Y'all got to find the video. I'm going to try to find the video and repost it. But baby, let me tell you, they did their thing. They did their big one. I love the kids. It's getting litty like a titty with the kiddies. Okay.
This nigga's a pedo. This nigga is a pedo. Put this nigga on a list.
Kids. It's getting litty like a titty with the kiddies. Kids. It's getting litty like a titty with the kiddies.
Put this nigga on a list right now. Put this nigga on a list and throw him in the trunk, all right? Throw this nigga in the trunk. Put him in the trunk with a grenade, matter of fact. Make sure you pack a grenade in there with him. Keep him warm at night. It's going to be a long ride. I don't want that nigga getting chilly in the trunk.
Get what they come to church doing? Being gay!
These niggas, man.
Okay.
Okay. Mexicans ain't never gonna be gay for you niggas, all right? I just hope you niggas learn. And listen, Viva la Raza, I don't really got an issue with Mexico or none of that. You know, I get along with all my Mexican and various Latino coworkers and shit like that. But Mexicans ain't never gonna be gay for you. Mexicans are never gonna be okay for you, all right? They ain't never gonna be that gay for you. Mexicans will never be as gay for you as you are for them. Okay, I just need you guys to understand that. Your gayness for Mexico is a one-way love. That's just the truth of it. It's never gonna happen that way for you. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I just rather not get into at the moment. But we basically come to the end of today's shenanigans, y'all. We here. We've made it through the end of today's shenanigans. And it was rough. It was rough. It took a lot. It took a lot to get here. But we finally finished. That nigga dead, them niggas marching, and nobody cares.
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like,
Corey. I knew thee well. Do yourselves a favor. If you're going to wrestle with the police, try to make sure you don't have any kitchen knives in your pocket or whatever like that. Not that you would ever pull it and try to use it, but you know, you don't want to give yourself the temptation. You know what I mean? Try not to argue or try not to wrestle with the police. Y'all, oh my God, I'm getting calls from the audience. I haven't had a panna in a minute. I haven't had a panna in a minute. All right, somebody, you know what? I'm gonna still do the panna tax show for $1. For $1. Somebody buy me $1 worth of coffee, and I open up the panna.
Come on, share your dollar. Give me your dollar. Share your dollar with me. Come on.
I'm a cheap date. I won't even deny it. I won't even deny it. I don't even have that big of dreams. All right. I'm cheap. All right. You know, I like beer and cheap whiskey. You don't have to get all fancy. $1 is you know, it's enough. It's enough. Plus, I heard we're in a recession. Gas is high, the rent's high. I'm not trying to tax y'all. I'm not gonna tax y'all like that. $1 is fine. Plus, I figure if I ask everybody for $1, you know, enough for y'all will give me at least $5, and you know, we can do something with $5. You know, shout out to Freeman's Journal with the $5 Venmo donation. You said buy me a coffee is an IRS psyop. I'm not gonna argue with you about that one. It just might be. It just might be. But shout out to my man Freeman's Journal. And then hold on, wait a minute. I think we got something else coming through. Let me open up the show. Let me drop the link. I haven't had a panna in like a little while now. I lost the latest round of my YouTube monetization battle, so I won't be due for another round of monetization for like another 3 months. So, you know, I haven't been doing all that much paneling. I've been trying to keep it real high and tight. I've been trying to keep it efficient, like a comedy act at the Laugh Factory or some shit. You know, I've been trying to keep it to like a nice short, tight set. You feel me? So I totally cop to that. I just haven't been opening up the floor for panel conversations because, you know, and not for nothing, but I actually got to be up for work in like 10 hours from now, like literally. I punch in for work 6 o'clock in the morning every day. You know, and I actually like the hell out of my job, so I'm not gonna interfere with that just to chop it up all the time. Oh, you say I'm gonna get a 1099 from buy coffee? Well, I understand, but, you know, look, we're not laundering money from buymeacoffee.com. It's not like I'm gonna have a hard time explaining where this $1 million came from. So I still have 2 hours to talk. Did I throw the link in the chat? I'm pretty sure the link is in the chat, by the way. The link is definitely in the chat. Shout out to my man True Hype with the $10 coffee donation. He said, here's the tax, y'all. Oh, man, you know what? Listen, it's good to know that my work on YouTube hasn't gone unloved. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people can say that they have a relatively loyal audience. And the one thing I know I've carved out for myself over the last couple of years of doing this as a hobby, because I fully acknowledge I am hesitant to go all in on YouTube and to buy a camera and a little setup. You know, every now and then I buy a desk. I might need to get a new laptop in another year or two, but like I'm trying to do a very low investment run on YouTube because I don't want to go all the way, because I know what I do is hard for YouTube to deal with. And it's been hard enough keeping any type of monetization. And then I got kicked off of Cash App, which was nuts. I don't know how to, I'm working on getting another Cash App. I don't know if I'll ever get one, but I've been trying, you know. And through all of my ups and downs, I got to say, my audience hasn't really ever left me hanging. And it's weird. It's a touching thing. You know, I'm getting all gooey and emotional for you guys right now. It's crazy. But I really appreciate the audience that I've built up over the years. You know, at least I know I'm just not up here talking a bunch of bullshit to retarded people. You know, people who can think a little bit actually appreciate what I do, and that means a lot. Shout out to my man Jamar with the 20 ball. Says paying for my ticket. Appreciate y'all coming out. Let me bring up a few guests we got in the back. True Hype and Freeman's Journal, we're in the back. Let's go. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the show. It has been a minute. Like I said, I haven't really been opening up panels that much, but it has been a minute. And I do have at least an hour to talk. I don't know about 2 hours, Freeman's Journal. That was very
That's funny.
Hilarious. Ready for work and shit. But yeah, True Hype was good, bro.
Hey, man, just think about it like this, man. If you had been, corrupting the youth like back in the day, they would have made a painting about you drinking hemlock and explaining your death away.
Did you just call me Negro Tease? I am Negro Tease. God damn it. I try though. I actually spoke directly to that idea of just like being philosophical at times. Like, I didn't go to school. I don't claim to have a university understanding of the philosophical concepts, but I try in my own endeavor. And actually, you know what? I just realized I kind of missed something. Give us 1 minute, panel. Jamar dropped a 20 ball, and $20 is a lot of money around here, y'all.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. I wear a $15,000 Rolex. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like jet flying, son of a gun, the biggest star of them all. It costs a lot of money to bring the real world champion on location. Only an Artie and Ricky. We do it better than everybody else. Don't wrap me up. No.
And then sliding in right before the buzzer, my man Black Socrates just hit the panel too. What's good, brother? Welcome to the show. Good to talk to all of you guys.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Lazy Sunday. Just getting ready for another manic Monday, man. What's good with you guys, though?
I'm all right. Just listen to the entirety of your little, spiel. I think it was probably a decent commentary.
I do. I do.
I don't think there's really much to say. I mean, this is just a typical reaction from the grievance market that's been cultivated among these years. So.
Well, since I did kind of just jump the lane and kick it to you anyway, let me just ask you one last question before I get back. I'm gonna give it to Freeman's next, but let me ask you this: do you think? Because I've been looking at all these little protests ever since George Floyd. I keep saying we kind of shot our load with Floyd, and it was almost a wasted load. But whatever. I don't think America really is in the mood to tolerate niggas as much as we were up until the Floyd era. What say you about that?
Well, I think that the entire thing is the form of psyop, and that's what leftism is. Leftism has always.
Socrates.
Yes.
You dropped for a quick second, but you said leftism was a psyop, and it always been.
Yeah, all the way from Stalin. When Stalin. Wait, hello.
Yeah.
When Stalin recognized that the quote-unquote working class don't have the consciousness to understand the importance of revolution and communism, that you need someone to guide them and quote-unquote lead them. And you have the critical school that said that the only way for the revolution to happen is to make people dissatisfied with modern society because capitalism actually works. So you have to make people aggrieved. You have to make them upset. So how do you make people who are actually doing materially well upset? You invent problems. So the black community, which almost reached parity with white people in the 1950s, they're now being told that their whole history is messed up, that they should be upset about racism. A lot of the problems that they currently face are self-inflicted, such as lack of marriage or lack of interpersonal skills or cooperation or literacy or lack of skills in general. Instead of shoring those things up, they're more concerned about the government being racist or having systematic or structural issues. Let's say the government did have structural issues. If you don't have any skills or literacy, you still can't get hired. So don't you think you should fix the things that are more immediate, like your own ability to earn for yourself by having a skill? But they don't talk about that. And of course, the left wouldn't talk about that because if people could fix their own problems, why would you need the left? So all this is symbolic. Yeah.
Hey, you know there was a was it a psychologist? Was he psychologist by trade? And he broke down, got addicted to opioids, but he used to say, "Clean your room."
No,
Jordan
I
Peterson.
still listen to OG Jordan Peterson clips. Like all the stuff that he was doing before he got famous was actually very, very good work. And I don't like ever want to criticize him on that level because the OG Peterson stuff when he was just in his class talking about the psyche and the dark sides of your consciousness and all that, he wasn't really that far off. It wasn't until later when he got hooked on benzoids or whatever he was taking it that he kind of
he,
got.
he's not far off. And also, you have to understand that reality or truth isn't sexy. It's kind of actually common sense. Human society has existed for thousands of years. Things that have been resolved or need to be resolved have already been resolved. But the problem is that that's actually kind of dissatisfying to people who want novelty or who want to make money off of ideas. So if you want to make money off of new ideas when there's nothing really to be done, you have to invent problems or invent something. And this is what leftism does. They invent problems that don't exist. Prime example. Back in the day, if you were had ideation about being a different gender, they would have said you're crazy, you need help. You need to either pray, you need to go on a journey, you need to take some ayahuasca, you need to just deal with it and just get on with life, period. But now they say, no, 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 you should feed into that. You should identify with it. You should cultivate it. You should ruminate on it. You should form a neurosis about it. And also go through painstaking biological alterations like cutting off your breast or cutting off your penis and go on medication for the rest of your life. That should help you. Really? Wouldn't it be better just to tell them that everyone has problems, get over it? And that's the thing, that the left that's why they keep on progressing. Once it was black people's problem, that became passe and blase. Got to move on to something else. Gay people, passe, blase. Got to move on to trans people. Sooner we probably be pedos. They keep going because they need something to keep pushing quote unquote ideas in the envelope.
Freeman's Journal. I wanted to ask you kind of a follow up, sort of to that line of argumentation. Really, what say you to the idea that like we're looking at all these protests, like the Corey Ruiz thing, and constantly like getting the black community like emotionally energized about some bullshit issue. I tend to agree with Socrates that it is an obvious strategy of leftism to keep Black America angry and stupid and therefore politically pliable.
Wholeheartedly. That's exactly what they're doing. Can you hear me?
Mike Shark, I think you're kind of far away. Your audio is all shot.
Hold on.
Yeah, am I the only one? He sounds very far away to me.
He's like low, like
and he's
super
only
low.
in one ear.
He's like super low.
But yeah, when Freeman comes back, I'm gonna let him get back in. But I totally see where Socrates is coming from, and it's been something that's been kind of just bugging me as well. Like it's an environment that preys on your own ignorance and stupidity, because that's really how you get the socialist Marxist revolution, is by keeping the Black community angry, hostile, conspiratorial, and then also
but
cognitively.
they don't really want. Absolutely, but they don't actually want the revolution. That's a trick. Right? They just want power. They sell you the revolution while they want power only.
Well, that's
always
where
been
we
the
might
case,
disagree.
right?
No, there's most definitely a revolution they have in mind. I just think that it won't be a Black revolution. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Like, we're all red until we're dead. There is no blackness under the communist revolution, but they definitely have the people who are really, really like the communist thinkers and shit, the higher up people in the pyramid. They definitely want a revolution. It's the stupid Black people working for justice. They have no idea about revolution.
Sure, they do want revolution, and they're the first people who get killed during the revolution. Like, study what happened in Cuba, China, Russia. When they had the revolution, what happened? Right? You line up everyone who helped you with the revolution and kill them because they're idealists. They're not going to agree with
I didn't say they were smart chess playing people. I'm just saying this is what they want.
Okay, sure. They do, but the other people who are more amoral or immoral who are just see the power grab. It's like, okay, I see these useful idiots, the lumpkin proletariats, useful idiots who can help me get what I want, get me power. I don't really have talent. I'm not trying to work hard. I can just like think about how much money is made off the black communities. How much nonprofits and CEOs, executives of nonprofits that's hood adjacent are making $400,000, $500,000 doing absolutely nothing, painting
Well,
murals or
black
teaching at dance class.
oppression and oppression really isn't the literal actual right word for it, but there is an industry built up around oppression where you have
Absolutely.
like all these nonprofits that try to save the hood. That's why I make a joke of all these save the hood initiatives because all it is just an industry of oppression. This is why, like in
Absolutely.
California, when they talk about the homeless crisis and how no matter how many billions they spend on homelessness, they can't actually fix the homeless crisis. But the people who run these homeless nonprofit places, they're all millionaires with wonderful houses and
Dude,
they have
do you know?
and
Do you
profiles.
know the biggest homeless nonprofit in California? Do you know what the average executive's compensation is for that nonprofit?
It's like
Listen,
over
y'all got it for a second. I'm gonna switch up and take this
It
outside
is
for a minute.
$750,000.
yeah, like which I think is up from what 3 or 4 years ago.
700 and it's like people need to do the research. It's all open. This is why I always say to myself that if they were smart, they would try to be more secretive, but they're not. They just openly do everything and they talk about it and brag about it. They will
Yeah, but
write books about it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but why would you have to be secret about anything where people just don't care and don't pay attention? There's so much apathy that they just like
Because
don't even bother.
because someone like Nick Shirley can just take a camera and expose you and send you to prison because a lot of this stuff is illegal.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
Nick Shirley,
Not saying
that's
that's
why.
not the case, but like most of the stuff's done in the open anyway. And it's not like like it's some sophisticated scheme. Look at the Ilhan Omar stuff that recently just came out. It's like she
Yeah, that's right.
registered
Nick
like
Shirley.
her businesses at the same address as the Feeding Our Families joint.
I completely agree, and I think that but that's the Achilles heel. I always said that they have a house of cards. All it takes is a couple of people to care, and their whole situation will fall apart because it's so blatant, it's so egregious, it's so obvious. Like you said in Minnesota with the Somalian scams. All it took is one kid, one guy with a camera, and all of a sudden the whole thing fell apart. Not the whole thing, but a lot of it got exposed.
I mean, well, actually, if you really want to think about it, like the main chick that was like, I guess the person that vouched for them, she she got outed and she's going to prison if she's not
Yes,
already
that's
there.
correct. No, she got convicted. I think she hasn't been sentenced yet, but she was convicted guilty.
Yeah, yeah. So she gone, and then she's actually turning state's witness though.
Toast.
All right, hey, there you go.
Oh, you can hear me? All right, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Freeman, you sound better now. What's going on?
Everything good. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They do keep, you know, like the low class. Well, I don't even say just the blacks in general in this agitated state, but that's all they know. You know what I mean? That is absolutely all they know.
You
It
know,
sounds like you're referencing like that whole conflict prone theory I was talking about, where just there's a constant state of conflict generally in the community.
but y'all lived through the '90s. It was never like this. Where
Yeah, it
people
wasn't,
like,
but they've gotten dumber, man.
yeah, well,
Remember,
yeah,
don't forget the
true.
Blue Fox experiment, dude. They have been
But
breeding
even
down in intelligence.
even some of the older people are like, acting up, like the history didn't exist to them. It's weird.
Well, that's cultural conditioning. They might have some common sense and other issues, but it's the cultural conditioning, right? And I think the lack of actual racism causes this weird psychosis. Like I think honestly, they would love nothing more than to see a whites only water fountain. You know what I mean? They want it so bad, right? It's such an integral part of their identity. They don't know what to do without it.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Life can be as difficult or as easy as you make it. and like it seems like they're going out of their way to make their lives more difficult. That's
No,
just
I mean
yes.
it's what they know. So you don't. You
That,
gotta,
no, that's the point. The point is to make your life more difficult.
yeah, they don't
Think
know.
about it. Think about the hypothetical. What if black people got their act together? Do you understand how much of a crisis that would be for the Democrat Party and the leftists? If black, like, think about all the arguments that they make that completely dissolve. Racism dissolves. Structural racism dissolves. Victimization dissolves. The legacy of injustices being perpetual dissolves. Their whole framework is actually built on black people remaining quote unquote oppressed or underclass. If black
And you
people
know
actually
what?
got the yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to interject real quick. You know what I resent the most in that dynamic is that on the one hand, Black people in America are experiencing unprecedented success in terms of financial success. You know, even if you just limit it to like rappers and athletes. Hell, drug dealer, black people in the ghetto are living fabulous lives compared to poor people around the world. You know what I mean? And it's like black folk have hit a level of success and acceptance in America that's really unprecedented, and niggas are never happy. And I think we
Whoa,
keep
whoa, 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 whoa,
constantly
whoa,
getting
whoa.
cues
whoa.
from like the elites and whatnot. We have social dysfunction, but economically, niggas are doing well.
That's true, but how do they know that? For instance, you know who AG Gaston is?
I'm not sure. AG Gaston? I
Okay,
don't know.
Gaston. AG Gaston was the person who financed the civil rights movement. Okay,
Okay.
why don't we know about him? Why is he in the public books, right? Why is he in the school books? And he was a rich person up from slavery, like one generation of slavery. He was one of the richest black men in America. So rich that he actually bailed Martin Luther King out of prison and single-handedly financed the civil rights movement. So a capitalist still
Well,
financed the civil rights movement. Why
that's
they don't talk
easy.
about him?
That's
Yeah,
easy
why
because
they don't talk about the fact that, like you said, black people are doing well in America. A lot of black people are doing well in America. A lot of black engineers and people are doing quite well. But they don't talk about this. But they don't talk
yeah,
about George Floyd. They
his
don't talk about
ideology does not match what they're trying to push. And if you get exposed to that, like i.e., like the Walter E. Williams, right?
correct.
Walter E. Whitman's, like
Mhm.
Whitman or Williams? Like
Williams,
yeah,
Walter E. Williams.
Walter Williams. It's Walter,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If you get exposed to those kind of cats or whatever, you kind of get a different look because they took the bull by the horns and they buckled down, just like old boy that started Jet magazine. You know what I'm saying? They like what? Like his family pissed away the money.
Yeah,
All the money's gone, man. All that success.
yeah.
Um,
But again, they need black people to believe they're victimized. Like, think about how ridiculous it is that I told a friend of mine recently, right? For years, probably going on 2 decades, I don't watch a lot of black entertainment. And why I don't watch a lot of black entertainment is because I sort of realized I watch both black entertainment and white entertainment, but I sort of see this recurring theme in black movies. Like, why is it always so negative and dramatic and depressing? It's always some struggle. It's always struggling. I'm like, yo, why is every movie a struggle? On Black History Month, when they do these, Netflix, HBO, Black Showcase, I listen to all the movies. Mother struggling, black man struggling, gay black man struggling, young black man struggling. I'm like, why is this obsession with black struggle? Is that the only thing that black people can do is struggle? I'm like, do other people don't struggle? White people don't struggle? What about Appalachia? What about Native Americans? In fact, Native Americans are the most struggling group in the country, but they don't talk about their struggle. They don't talk about Chinese.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
hold on a second. On the one hand, I think you're right. Well, I think I disagree. Maybe I think you said like, what about Native Americans? In that context, we only see Native Americans as like oppressed as well, and that's a whole different thing. But I get the theme where it's like you're only allowed to envision these people, or if you're black, you're only allowed to envision yourself through the media as constantly struggling, which means you're constantly losing, and you're never, you can never look at yourself as like, the victorious or whatever. And then here's the catch: your struggle is never your struggle is never like an existential struggle for pure concepts of like justice and manhood and freedom. It's always through the lens of the white man. It's never like this existential thing. Like, when was the last time there was a movie about a nigga climbing a mountain? You know what I mean? Something like that.
Listen,
look at Hood. There's 3 movies that came out recently that feature Native Americans. Prey with them fighting the predator, Moana, and some other Native American stuff. Why I don't see the movies about Native Americans being oppressed? Still,
You
praise
know
about
what?
Native American.
I'll grant you that. Moana's
Come
not
on.
quite native, but I'll grant you that was a more
It's
indigenous, their own
conspiracy.
thing.
It's a conspiracy. Like they really want black people to not be happy, bro. They want you to always remember you black. Right? You're black, and what that means.
Yo, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived through the time where they had the movies where no matter what, in spite of the men of honor, the glories, and there's countless others where like no matter what, they persevered because they were just made from that good type of stock. And like I remember talking to like, white people and even Hispanic dudes like admired that. And like, they had a quote unquote kinship because they saw that spirit in black people. And then when you turn on like the internet, like every other freaking videos, like, hood fighter, some chick stealing like, crab legs, you know what I'm saying? Like, or the song of the summer. And I'm like, yo, this is not black folks that I grew up with, man. This
I
is I
mean,
don't know what the hell this
Hey,
is.
Hood, do you mind
I
if I go
feel
on
I
a quick
feel as though
tangent?
yeah, go ahead, Freeman. You got it.
All right. Can you click on that link I put in the chat, the first one?
Give me 2 minutes, Freeman, because I stepped away from the computer. I'll be right
Okay.
with you. But
All right, I'll put
what were you saying? Lead us into it. I'll get there in 1 second.
so
I had to run outside for a minute.
and I put them in the chat too. I'll put them right here. But what's happening is, right, as a side effect of all these teen takeovers and things like that, the class separation is starting, right? I just put a link in the chat, and it's basically not basically, but it says Alabama HBCU Tuskegee University announces a new dress code banning bonnets, do-rags, and other casual attire as the school's president says students should dress more professionally.
I just sent somebody that like maybe 30 minutes ago, and they
Yeah,
just
but
responded to me.
Right
that's
now.
that's something that's been ongoing ever since Robert Putnam wrote his book Our Kids, and Charles Murray wrote another book called Coming Apart. How the classes have diverged, and
Right.
you no longer go to the same churches, you no longer go to the same lodge, you no longer live in the same neighborhoods. Back in the day, you just had mixed communities, like you would like Simpsons. You got Simpsons is where Burns is the richest guy in town, but he still interacts with the working class. He still interacts with everyone, probably goes to church with everyone. That's how it used to be back in the days, where the
Right.
rich, middle class, and the lower class used to interact with each other. Now, no more.
All right, now let me keep going. So, second link I put in there is for Howard University, right? And it says a mother said she tried to pay her daughter's tuition balance after Howard University unenrolled the incoming freshman weeks before the start of class, but was
Saw
denied.
those videos.
The
Hold
school,
on. You know what? Let me run
the
back to the
school
computer. I
recently
saw those videos.
unenrolled
I'm gonna pull
more
that
than
up.
500 students over tuition payment issues. 500, right? That is Howard clearing out the riffraff.
I mean, hey, look, the bottom, what, 20% of college admissions or whatever probably don't need to be in school. You know what I'm
Probably
saying?
don't. I mean, doubly so at probably HBCU. But my point is, these are cultural signposts of class separation, right? More than the de facto, more than we know what's happening, right? This is like an acknowledgement of it in the macro. So that's what I take these as. So yeah, no more wearing pajamas to class, no more wearing flip-flops to class, all this stuff. So these are the beginning features of class separation. So
That's crazy to me though, man, that we even got there. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, no, you gotta let me do this because like, I'm gonna tell on you and get you in trouble.
Mhm.
And then
You're
like
gonna say it's racism.
Go ahead.
Well, it's Howard doing it. That's why they can't.
They still can say it's racism. They can say you're internalizing white supremacy. Listen, I know these people, man. I know these people very well. I know how they think. Everything is racism. Everything. I have a brother my brother went to HBCU. He studied sociology. He is an embodiment of the thought process, and we argue all the time. As far as he's concerned, You can blame racism on everything, white supremacy on everything. If a black person shoots another black person, somehow that's white supremacy. Even if it's over drugs, it's white supremacy. Over a girl, white supremacy. Everything is
Yeah,
white
yeah,
supremacy.
I get it. It's the same thing with black power. The same thing with black everything. Yeah, I get it. So and then I do have one more link after that.
I told them I will pay this now.
I'm Jay Lawson on the campus of Howard University because over 500 students have been unenrolled at Howard's incoming freshman class. Now, the vice president of enrollment says that basically the tuition had to be paid 50% on the account in order for the students to secure their enrollment. However, parents say that the emails have been confusing, frustration. A lot of parents have come up to the administration building offering to pay the remaining balance of what they believe is left on the accounts, and the administration is telling them that there is nothing that they can do. The vice president of enrollment also says that some cases will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis because there were a lot of external funding and scholarships that needed to be applied to accounts. But right now, a lot of the students who have been turned away, their families say that they don't know what they are going to do.
Like, what's this money is the
Hey,
problem
Hood.
that can be solved. It's not fair. I called since May trying to get in contact with somebody. They did not respond. And when they did respond, they gave me miscommunication. They can pull, they said the calls are recorded. They can pull those calls to hear what the rep told me.
Hey,
True, I know you want to jump in. Let me just say this real quick, and I'm gonna give it right to you. Where your daddy's at? I'm sorry. Go ahead, True. I just had to yell that out. Where are your daddies?
Hey, if it's actually recorded, I saw somebody in the comments say that, like on the video I saw. Like, I don't know if it's the same person that posted this, but like, man, this is it's you know, if I was if Kamala, right, I'm gonna invoke her. If she was really, because this is our alma mater, right, the real HU. If this is our alma mater or whatever, right, man, I would swoop in to have conversations, and I would be the savior of these cats, man. And you know what? I wouldn't even. I just get like some other alumnus, and I'd be like, I have them donate their money in my name or whatever, right? And I come and smile like '09 Obama, man. And then like, guess what? There's your midterms right there. But that, you know what?
You know
That's
what's
not
crazy
best.
about that, True Hype? Right now, black politics isn't really focused on black people, like black America per se. Black politics is focused on immigration and LGBT issues.
Yeah, but what's really funny is you don't really have to give nobody nothing. You just make a little simple overture like that. And that's all they would need for another 2 cycles, possibly. That's it.
Hey man, you gotta pay your fare. I don't know what to tell them. They got to pay their money on time. You should have had your money in early. Being right on time is technically being late. You should aim for being early. All right.
Hey.
I had to learn the lesson. Not even like a really harsh lesson, but like I remember one time I was at a job and like I kept showing up, 5 minutes late, 2 minutes late, slight. I was on time, but not on time really. And I had a little talking to, and from there on, it's for years now. I tend to be at work 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time.
Hood, did you see the video? And shout out to Messi Michonne, right? She did like a little thing on it about the nurse, the black chick that was a nurse with a nursing program. I guess she missed her second payment or something like that, and they were like unenrolled.
Hey man, it's brutal. But again, I've been the victim of such brutality, so I'm not really unsympathetic to it. But what are you gonna do? Be on time.
That's a second payment. That's a second payment, though.
Consequences help.
And that's really why I hate all of this. Like, let me be very clear and also sensitive, I suppose, in what I'm about to say. This is why I don't really just like emotionally side with the quote black cause, because I think black people were at our best when white people were really white people. You know what I mean? And over the years, white people have gotten way too liberal, way too passive, way too tolerant of what is frankly anti-civilizational impulses coming from the Negro community. And the more you encourage and allow and tolerate anti-civilizational behavior at large, you actually endanger civilization at some point. And it's not all Black America's fault that, America is in the position that it's in, but, Black America's played a big role. We were definitely a great, the spearhead for a lot of things in terms of civil rights running amok. But that being said, I really do think that Black America would benefit from not being catered to so easily.
Yeah, the low expectations or whatever, or the dumbing down of or the dumbing down or lessening of the standards is the
The
worst.
soft bigotry of low expectations is the phrase you are like searching for, True Hype.
Yeah, but this goes across the society though. So like you remember that old phrase that people used to say, if a white man catch a cold, a black man catch the flu.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about right here.
Well,
It's
not exactly that. That's a truism I'm not arguing with, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is more like the idea that, like, if you know how, like, everybody, like, I was saying this before, I forgot what context I brought this up, but I was saying how Jordan, nobody really likes Jordan in the NBA. Like, as far as other basketball players, he doesn't have a lot of friends. And one of the reasons for that is because when you play with Michael Jordan, he's going to demand that you play better. There is no way to imagine being on the Bulls 90, what was it, like 94, 95, 96? Like, there was a great run that the Bulls had almost up to like 97 or 8, I think. They had like a 4-year run where they won like 3 out of those 4 chips, right? And you couldn't be on the Bulls team around Jordan and you were just straight shit. Like, I mean, like, they had their bench players, and you don't expect the bench players to play as great as the starters, and I get all that, but just being around somebody like Jordan, he demanded better of you. And I think for Black people, the phenomenon of being born directly into Western culture and Western civilization, as opposed to being like an African immigrant or whatever, the fact that we were born here, it demanded better of us, even in ways that maybe perhaps go too far. And this is what, the civil rights movement wasn't totally, unbased or whatever, but like the general the general principle that I'm trying to speak to is that competition tends to bring the best or the better out of people.
Yeah.
Kind of entered a mode where we don't really have a competitor the way we did before. We just now have the government and all these other forces backing up our bullshit.
Yeah, I think True Hype is right in the sense that it is a general cultural malaise, because I give you a statistic that blows my mind when every time the politicians or government talks about capitalism or competition or meritocracy in America. 50% of white people in America read below a middle school level. I repeat, 50% of white people in America read below a middle school level. If these are people who have no impediments, no legacy of racism, no quote unquote structural issues, and the best they could do is barely read at a middle school level, we as a culture actually screwed. As a culture, we're no longer competitive. As a culture, I'm talking about Black, white, American. As an American culture, we've given up on competition and meritocracy a long time ago. All we do is give lip service.
Look. That is where I think I agree with True Hype when he just mentioned the idea of when the white man get the cold, Black people got the flu, right? That now, if you make that statement in terms of cultural malaise, that I think that fits perfectly. But it may be not exactly the way a lot of other people might see it, but I totally see it that way. Like, the fact that white America has become just so incredibly liberal and passive and tolerant even is not necessarily good for Black America. We don't benefit.
The Constitution is written on a eighth grade level. So we're talking about 50% of the dominant group in this country that's supposed to be running it that can't even understand the Constitution.
It's by design, though. Like,
I,
because
here, go ahead.
the march through the institution was set up, so like they wanted everything but you to be, whatever. And it's like the whole Rockefeller thing. Like
Yeah.
in part, they basically co-opted the whole thing. They wanted to make you good workers. You know what I'm saying? To be able to go to your break time, whatever, and recognize the clock and like bells and stuff like that and whistles, like to go to your next thing, your next job or lunch or time off. And then like you had these people like that actually hate the country that realize, hey, if we teach the next generation, then guess what? The hand that rocks cradle.
Right. I don't completely hate that whole like Prussian school system thing that you talked about in the initial half, but it's like the latter half. It's like they've taken hold of that and made everybody like little woke weird people.
Like,
On one
you
hand,
know,
the school
go
system
ahead.
just picking workers and people who can fit into the system. It's not totally bad. I get the criticisms of it, but it's not. It's a very functional thing.
Well, they're failing at that because if they're supposed to make workers, how can you be a worker when you can't read an electrical manual? You can't read
Right.
a plumbing manual. You can't
Right.
even read they can't even take the CDL. You have a scandal in New York where someone hired someone to take CDL tests for them because the people can't pass the CDL test, which is really like a middle school test. like what? Like and people
Well, Socrates.
Hold on.
yeah.
Some
We
of
don't,
that's
we
the
don't have a
illegal
ton
thing
of time
too.
here. I want to get to this clip. Troy, you were trying to say something. Okay, you got it.
Well, I was gonna say some of that's the illegal thing too, because two ladies in Texas, I want to say San Antonio or maybe Dallas, one of the two, right? Got they were basically selling what I'm saying, tests like completions to illegal immigrants.
Yeah, there was
So
a
they're
couple.
getting
There
high.
was a
The
couple
people,
of. They
listen,
were
the
black
people
ladies who worked
well,
there.
in New
No,
York,
those were Hispanic.
Okay.
yeah, in New York, the people got caught. None of them were illegals. None of them were illegals. I'm gonna say you
Yeah.
got caught. The DMV person got caught. She was in on it. The person coming up to the window to take the test got caught, and the people who paid them got caught. None of them were illegals. And in fact, if you look up, if you go through the country, go through the country and look up CDL jobs because there's a whole bunch and they can't fill them. Question is why? Two reasons. People can't get this CDL because they can't pass the permit tech written exam, which is again supposed to be very easy, and or they can't pass a drug test. There are two reasons why you have jobs in Syracuse right now paying $70,000 a year for anyone who's willing to drive a truck, and they can't find anybody.
Listen, you know what? I want to be totally honest about my thinking. Once upon a time, I realized I needed to, make a better make better out of myself. Let's put it that way. And I figured truck driving is the easiest way to kind of get into the real world again. And it's true. If you're, especially as a guy, if you're a guy who's trying to get his life together and you've done things that put you outside of mainstream America. Let's just put it that way, right? Truck driving is a very easy way. It's a very low bar of entry kind of way to get back into making some decent kind of money. Now, not everybody's going to make great money, but like you can make a living. And the thing is, though, the bar of entry is so low. I just refuse to even believe that, life is just that hard for everybody out there. I'm like, nah, man. There's so many people not trying that hard.
Hey, you know what?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Another
Someone's
one,
talking.
moving companies to be a mover.
That is
Look,
kind of parallel to the truck driving thing, but
look. I need some more stats. So I'm a research wonk. I'm in Philadelphia. If you live in the projects in Philadelphia, they'll pay you minimum wage to learn a trade. And once you get the trade, you get preference and get a license and everything like that. How many of them do it? Hardly any. Also in Philadelphia, to get a trade, like in carpentry, all you gotta do is call the union. They'll give you a test. They'll start you up at $20 an hour. And yet, till this day, Philadelphia has the highest amount of people in poverty. It's the biggest city with the most poverty in the country. Yes, the bar is that low. Now, this is the biggest power in America. I think everyone, left to right, everyone's in delusion. Delusion. And it makes sense. If you got your life together, if you're doing your right thing, you're basically clustered. You don't understand how the rest of the world is living. If you have any type of functionality, you're separated from the rest of society. The rest of society are like dysfunctional orcs ravaging around trying to figure things out when they can.
Let me
And
jump
that's
in real quick.
yeah.
Let me jump in because I got to get to this clip and we're gonna wrap this up shortly. But I
All
just
right.
want to say because L said he says once Hood got out of prison, he became a truck driver. That's not true. That's not how the sequence of events works. Once I got out of prison, I got I had bullshit jobs and then I started hustling again because quitters never win. And then I stopped hustling after I got good at it. All right. Once I got good at it, that's when I gave it up. All right. Because goddamn it, I'm not gonna let you niggas make me stop hustling. I stopped because I was stopping. All right. Once I mastered the craft, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
You had your Peaky Blinders arc, and you were like, "I'm out the game."
Nah.
Jail
He
can't
kept
break a
he,
real
he,
nigga. What do you
he
mean?
kept he kept hustling until DA need a couple of heads and his name come up.
Went got a CDL and said, "I have no
I'm joking, but
limitations."
I'm being literal. Like, no, it took me a minute to kind of grow up, but by that time, I guess I kind of refined it. Plus, it's like, and when we're talking, you were talking about this, Socrates. A lot of people just don't make good decisions, and so I was just keeping my risk management very very low and maximizing whatever profit I can make. So I survived like that, just low risk and making money, and that's all you got to do. But most people can't think like that, and you get caught up in stupid shit. But I'm like, bro, just drive a truck. It's so much easier to just drive a fucking truck, man.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Why don't people do it? I think they can't pass the test.
Not that bright. A lot of people
I know they can't pass tests.
realize they have options, and then two, not everybody is like not because this is like a cultural thing. Because this is my experience just growing up. The culture is very magnetic, and once you kind of get sucked in, it's hard to see your way out. And lucky for me, most of my life, I would argue I was like relatively middle or lower middle class. I wasn't really poor until I was an adult on my own, not really figuring shit out. But like I kind of had an inkling of how things are supposed to work, so I could never really just totally give into being retarded.
Yeah, but I don't think there's certain people that they are beyond the power curve, if you will, right? As far as intelligence. But like a lot of people don't want to work, man. You start like, was it 10 years ago when they were polling kids? What do you want to be? YouTuber. Now what they say, influencer. I'm like that. That's not good for society either. When they don't even understand you have to have work ethic to do that stuff.
Yeah, my son said that to me before. He wants to be a streamer or whatever. I'm like, look, listen, you got to learn how to do a skill first. You can live stream about whatever, but if you learn how to do a skill, you'll always have money.
That's true. The thing is that a lot of Americans don't have skills, and in terms of it's not just truck driving. Like I also work in the medical field, so in the medical field, you have tech jobs. So these are anesthesia tech, radiology tech, all these tech jobs. They pay good money. Starting salary like $50,000 to $70,000, and if you travel, you make more than that. And yet, sure enough, across the country, they have a lack of tech job people to hire. They have a drought of it to the point they want to hire people overseas to come through. And the question is, what's wrong? Why can't people become techs?
That one's like a double-edged blade too, because like come to find out, like old girl at Microsoft, even the new CEO was going out her way not to hire Americans, to hire dot not feather. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. That's not happening in the medical field. That might happen in tech, not in the medical. They'll hire anyone with a pulse. I'm seeing how bad it is. It's so bad in Pennsylvania that they hired a guy to be an anesthesia tech. There'd be people who come in and clean the equipment before the anesthesiologist uses it. That's all they do. They clean the equipment and prep the room before the anesthesiologists come. Other than that, they sit and they play on their phone or watch TV. That's their jobs. This person don't even have training. They actually trained them on the job and gave them a job and paid him $8,000 a year. And he's an actor. He's an African.
Guys, let's get to this last clip. We're all here. We're going to review this last clip together because I haven't watched this at all. I'm coming in blind as well, but it's a short clip, 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes. And this is Joe Rogan and James Lindsay exposes the evils of the soft bigotry of low.
It's on their website. So the ruling was last October, I think.
Okay. Interesting.
The thing
Politically motivated lawsuit brought by Edward Blum, the organization he created, Students for the Fair Admissions, wants to remove the consideration of race in college and university admissions. What's at stake? The ability of colleges and universities across the country to create the diverse communities essential to their educational missions and the success of their students. So the problem was that so many of these Asian kids were doing so well that they had a disproportionate number of Asian students, and they wanted to balance it out better.
They want more blacks and Latinos specifically. They usually say it, at least in New York City, they actually say it, that it's blacks and Latinos. They say it over and over and over again. The Asians and whites and Jews are filling all the spots, and blacks and Latinos aren't. So what you're actually looking at is they're trying to move to a space where they can put racial quotas in.
That's so crazy.
And it hurts people, right? So if you take like with Harvard, Harvard's hard. It's a hard school. So if you take somebody who's academically not prepared for Harvard and you stick them in Harvard, they're going to underperform.
Right.
And then if you would have stuck them in a school that they actually are, it matches their capabilities, then they're going to excel. That's how it works. You can't, like,
I remember hearing Thomas Sowell make that exact same point about black achievement.
If we went out into the gym and we put some weights on there, right? And
you
remember that chick that had the Fort Harriet joint that got into it with Obsidian?
Oh yeah.
She talked about struggling going to the school and the school having to work with her. All because she probably wasn't like meant to go to that school, especially at first.
Correct.
But the school was encouraged to let her in because they look good hiring more black people.
Well, she had to take a break. She had to take a break and she had to slow roll it. So she probably didn't finish like a normal student that goes to that university does.
Freeman, you were trying to say something. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say just real quick. So the phenomenon that you're describing, it just hurts all the way down, right? Because a black person that could have done well at Michigan is probably going to end up getting promoted to Harvard where they're not going to do well, right?
Correct.
And the person that gets sent to Michigan probably could have done okay at, Sandusky State, right? But they didn't go to Sandusky State. They went to Michigan, so they're going to struggle, right?
Yeah,
and
but
so forth and so on. So all that goes all the way down the line, and then you never end up fixing high school education to actually prepare them for college. So you're just mismatching black people at every level because of affirmative action, and you're increasing the amount of failure, right? If you would just allow them to be placed where they are best suited for, right, then they will do better. But
as Freedom Journal was saying, when you do this, it creates this domino effect, as he was describing, where if a student would have thrived at the local state college, they would have been valedictorian and get all the resources of a college commercial towards them, towards helping them succeed. Then they go to Harvard instead, and they can't even compete, so they major in like sociology, and they're not even good at that. They barely graduate, and now they're a Harvard grad in sociology, where they could have been an engineer at a state college. And it's like, what's the point of doing that? You're wasting human capital in order to make symbolic or token gestures.
Mm-hmm. All right, keep going ahead. This is the good part.
You're like, all right, Jim, you're going to bench 400 pounds. I'm like, no, I'm not. But it's like, you wanted to coach me. You would say, all right, we found out you can do like 190 or whatever. So we're going to push yourself. We're going to try 195. Within that little bit of a range, you can cause somebody to excel. And then within however many months or years, I'm benching 300-400 pounds. You can't just put people in hard mode and then watch them succeed. And then again, I get these emails from people. They're telling me their story. I get this one from this black guy who said that he never had any of his work corrected. And how does he know in his master's program? How does he know? How does he know?
In his master's program?
Yeah. So he started deliberately putting mistakes in to see if they'd correct it. And they wouldn't. They didn't correct it. Like he was putting mistakes in on purpose. Right. So he's getting A's on all these papers that he was writing that were just junk. And now he can't get a job because his skills never developed to the point where they're actually competitive. So it's like trying to help people by the wrong means hurts them.
Well, they don't care about the end result, right? They don't care about you getting a job. They really just care about you graduating and it looking good on there.
It's like I said, it's like putting wallpaper over a hole in the wall and considering it fixed. It's like, oh, we're just going to.
You know what? As he was describing that whole thing about, never correcting the black students' work, my mind started to wander into black studies, like that whole field of black studies every now and then, you guys probably, a lot of you guys listening have, heard me have different arguments with different people, sometimes on a bunch of different channels. And, we talk about this and that black stuff or whatever. And every now and then it's like, you clearly have never had your bullshit challenged before. And I think I've known for a little while now that the university system is kind of like ground zero for like where a lot of black stupidity kind of gets solidified into like a knowledge base. And then this is why I keep making fun of like black studies as a whole thing. This is where, it's basically Jacobian theory at a university level. And like a lot of you niggas just come at you start to believe all this shit, but you think you're smart and you think you're right and righteous because you have a degree.
Hey, Hood, you know what a perfect example is to encapsulate this? Old boy from the hill with his last co-host. That black chick, whatever, they end up
That's
getting
why
fired.
yesterday I was like, Robbie, yeah, you tell that black bitch.
Man, like, yo. And then the fact that she couldn't say, oh, you're right, I was wrong. She just like tried to move away from it completely. Man, oh man, like
Yeah.
that drive me crazy, man, because he does it with a smile. So she's a little bit more polite, or seeming to be more polite than what Brianna was. But like, old girl, man, is just as nefarious, man. Probably more so.
Yeah, but in Intellectuals and Society by Thomas Sowell, he talks about that. He talks about the fact that these people they grow into the academic, world where they're never really corrected. They're given A's. They're told they're smart their entire lives, and they start believing it because they've never been challenged. And in fact, you don't even know if the people grading their papers will tell them the truth. Oftentimes, I don't think they are, because in certain fields, there's no real falsification. Like in the liberal arts, you can say anything and make it sound good and pass. That's why I laugh at liberal arts and social sciences. I don't consider them real sciences.
You know what's funny? I've experienced this in real life. Having a thorough discussion with somebody of the the opposite political affiliation, if you will, and then like it'd be multiple people talking, right? And they would not engage with me because as one, they never heard the argument before, and then two, they definitely damn near never heard the argument from a black guy. So like they would act like I wasn't there, and it's like, yo, what's wrong with you? I just said something to you. Are you going to respond to
No,
what I was?
because look at Judith Butler. Finally, Judith Butler is considered an authority on queer theory and gender studies, whatever. Her landmark book is called Gender Trouble. If you read that book, you'll find she has an entire book on gender when she never bothered to even define what gender is. This is the type of scholastic powerhouse and ability we're dealing with. People who can become authorities in positions when they never even define their subject. And of course, their students or the people who read this stuff, if you ask them basic questions like, what do you mean by gender? What do you mean by social justice? I was at NYU one time and I was asking students, define social justice. They couldn't do it. These people probably major in sociology and they can't define social justice. They can't tell you what makes social justice different than regular justice. Why do we need to put social next to it?
It's completely insane, man. There's so much stuff.
We got to wrap this up too. But I was just thinking about something like when you started talking about that Julius, what was her name? Judith Butler. Recently in Congress, they were having these hearings, and then every now and then transgenderism pops up. And I think this is the next, this is almost like the vice grip of the transgender argument. And I think they need to apply this. I hope, and I'm saying this out loud so I can literally speak it into existence, right? You have to define what a woman is legally. Think about the implications of that. No. We have to now make them legally define what a woman is. Because right now they're trying to challenge what the legal definition of a woman is. Okay, fine. You tell me what the legal definition of a woman is, and it's an automatic gotcha, because they're automatically going to have to break some of their own rules, and then the only rules that ever work are the rules that they hate.
They're deconstructionists. You're asking a deconstructionist to construct.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
the only way to win. You have
yeah,
to force them to construct.
because that right there in its own self like puts them against themselves.
There you go.
Because they can't argue in a circle there because it has to be clearly stated in legal doctrine for legal proceedings to go forward.
And once I pin you down, now I can break you. And that's the way it is, which is why they always resist that type of shit anyway. But I was just kind of, spitballing that because I was watching something that made me, I was watching some hearing recently. I forget exactly what, but it made me think about it. Like, why don't we just constantly ask them to legally define woman? If you're going to always bring up woman, this woman, that, what is a woman legally? Tell me. And
Yeah.
then
They asked Ketanji Brown Jackson, and she
Yeah,
said she's not a biologist.
but
I know.
technically that wasn't a legal proceeding.
I
So
know.
she
But
didn't
you
want.
see what I mean, True Hype.
Yeah.
It has to be legal.
She didn't want to be on record. Like she knows what a damn woman is. The whole reason why she got that position is because she's a quote unquote black woman.
There
Correct.
you go.
No reason.
But how can we do anything for black women without having an actual definition of woman?
I want to see the black women that agree with the quote unquote equity, and and treating all these people equal or whatever. And I want to see their heads explode when you point that fact out, Hood.
Well,
Didn't have that on this floor.
I
The
can
heads are
only,
not nice.
one can only hope. But we gotta wrap this up because I gotta get out of here in a second.
All
Yeah, I appreciate y'all coming, hanging out, chopping it up with me. It has been a while. I do miss this. But we got to go. As they say, y'all, you ain't got to go home, but
Gotta get the hell out of here.
But I thank everybody for coming through today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm not sure if I actually got this one out right, but shout out to Jamar. I think Jamar hit us with the $10 Panda tax. I appreciate you coming through, smashing that coffee donation button, man. Be like Jamar. Smash that support button for me.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
I don't think I could ever delete that clip. It's too unique, and I may never, ever be able to find it again. But I love that clip. Shout out to everybody who came up today. Thank you to all the panelists who came and joined the show. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Any closing thoughts? I'm gonna let you guys get a last shot off, and then we're gonna get up out of here.
Class separation by any means necessary.
I like that. I like that. I think Socrates agrees. Class separation, y'all. Listen, I mean, whoever aspired to be a lower class nigga, I mean, think about it. Think about it. Just no. But anyway, that I think we had enough. I think we're done here.
That's probably something that you just land on, Hood. Kind of like going to jail in Monopoly,
right?
But I think that when you have been making fun of it for at least a year now, talking about bullying and shaming works, I think we need to have some high class shaming, man. Because I can't stand some of this garbage that I'm seeing, man. There's no standards. Hell, I go to the drive-through mirror and I'm getting smacked at because I'm asking you to seal my damn lid of my cup.
You know what? I'm with you, True Hype. I'm gonna state it definitively. We got to start bullying black people again.
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
Nigga, please. Serious.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.